everybody, and welcome back to the Triple Crown Wargaming Studio with me, Max the Chieftain Hurley. By my side, as always, is Scott the Duke McHugh.
Hello.
James the Lawmaster Lamin.
How we doing?
And we're back with another deep dive video in our deep dive series. So the deep dives are a competitive analysis of every army book and supplement in Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition. In this video, or set of videos, we're going to be going through the Daemons of Chaos army book. Yeah, the final... Thanks for the little toot toot.
Yeah. I got you.
The final army book in our deep dive series. We've come to an end, unfortunately. But we're going to do a little bit different this time, guys. So each of the Daemons of Chaos army book deep dives we're going to do is going to be the same intro. So it's me with me, these guys who's by my side. We'll be going through the intro, the rated systems, and the special rules section of the army book.
We will.
With me, and these guys will be helping me out. Beyond that, we'll be going into the separate sub-factions of the Daemons of Chaos.
Yes.
So that's out of the way. We're going to get through this very quickly. And we're going to go into what can you expect in our video now. So the video will be broken down into 5 distinct sections. First, we'll outline how the rating system works. Then we'll go through the army-wide special rules. Next, we'll go through the special characters and unit ratings. Followed by analysis of the army-specific items and magical laws. Then we'll discuss some sample competitive army lists, both in a non-comps environment and within the framework of the Triple Crown comp system itself. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. So, here is a brief explanation / recap, if you've watched them before, of how our rating system works. And we say brief, it'll be a bit of a time. So firstly, we'll divide every unit in the Iron Book into battlefield roles. This creates a system that accurately represents how competitive a unit is at its job. Just because a unit won't kill 50 models in a game doesn't mean it's not competitive. Daemons of Chaos don't particularly have anything that kills 50 models in a game, unless it's a great demon.
Unless the tally's up.
Unless the tally's
Well, tally's up, a Nurgle Fury could probably do it.
Yeah. We'll get to that at some point. So, the battlefield roles are as follows. So we have Battleline Units. These are the regiments that form the fighting line of an army. The Flanking Units, which are the shock units used for hitting the enemies in, unsurprisingly, the flanks, in support of your battle line. We have Range Units, the units that offer you the dedicated shooting threat. Chaff Units, the units used for hitting lone targets like war machines and sacrificing for battlefield advantage. Support Units, those uniquely Warhammer units that offer buffs or damage unlike anything else in the game. And Characters, which is what it says on the tin. Naturally.
Easy.
Easy peasy. So, there are 15 different criteria for scoring. However, each of the battlefield roles are scored on the 6 criteria most relevant for their role. We'll outline which criteria are used for each battlefield role, and the full details of how each criteria is broken down can be found on the ratings page of TripleCrownWargaming.com.
There's a link above the video.
There's a link above the video.
On the page before.
I'm having a great
It's on the page before.
Just over it. Just listening to Max taking big breaths for the massive sentences.
Because I don't do words well. As Scott just said, the link is posted.
I don't word well.
I don't word well. The link is above, below, previous page, next page. Take it out.
Previous page at the top.
There you go. That's where it is. It's pretty in-depth stuff and well worth checking out to better understand how the deep dive content works and to help you think critically about your army's units.
Yeah, otherwise we're just saying random numbers at you and it doesn't mean too much.
It might do.
I sit here.
It does if you watch all of them, because it kind of gives you a good relation to every other unit.
But if you don't read the
singularly,
of it,
singularly less useful.
Oh, it's a 12. Okay.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah. So each criteria is worth up to 4 points, giving a total of 24 for each unit in the army book. The higher that number, the more competitive at its job it is. And the criteria for each battlefield role are as follows. Drum rolls, please. Battleline units are scored on strength and number of attacks, special rules, command options, survivability, and cost. Flanking units are scored on strength and number of attacks, their special rules, maneuverability this time, survivability, and cost. Ranged units are scored on threat range, strength for shot, accuracy, versatility, survivability, and cost. Chaff units are scored on maneuverability, number of attacks, special rules, slot, survivability, and cost. Support units are scored on maneuverability, special rules, synergy, risk, survivability, and cost again. And finally, characters are scored on output, special rules, synergy, risk, survivability, and cost.
So survivability and cost, quite important.
Yeah.
Every role.
Probably the two most important,
Yeah.
singularly the two most important factors in a unit.
I think that's, verging on common knowledge, I would say.
Yeah.
If a unit is, paper thin, it's probably not going to have a role unless it's a very dedicated role.
And or if it's cheap.
Or if it's very cheap.
Hello,
Equally-
zombies.
Equally, if a unit's really tough to kill, but is super expensive, it also probably isn't going to have a place.
Yeah.
Hello, Blood Knights.
They're not
That's
tough to kill.
Although probably not tough enough to kill to warrant their points.
Yeah,
But that's exactly why you
That's
don't see
exactly
it.
why you don't see it.
So beyond that tangent, a handy tip in general is if a unit scores more than 18, it's a pretty strong choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should take it in your army every time, all the time.
Well, I don't know that, but
All the
A lot of
time.
the time.
it's a good consideration to build around. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So now that that's rated out of the way, we're now going to move into the start of the Iron Book as it is, and we're going to move into the Daemons of Chaos special rules. So now the formalities are out of the way. Let's deep dive. So he's got an exclamation point. So
You certainly exclaimed that.
It's got an exclamation.
I always said, let's deep dive. Yeah.
I really
Like a
hope.
pirate.
I hope you came here looking for the seriousness of content you've grown to know and love from the deep dive videos.
When you come to
and found Pirate Demon Max
when you've come
at the helm.
when you come to Max's deep dives, you know there's going to be no seriousness here.
No.
Right. So
What a horror show.
what is a horror show? For me,
This section's our show for
It
the
is.
enemies of demons.
it is.
Yeah.
So in the Daemons of Chaos Army special rules section, you will find 2 special rules and one rule I'm call it a game special rule because it does affect the game as a whole. And that is the only way I can think to describe it. And it may not seem like a lot, but there's a lot to unpack here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, there is. One of their rules is basically 3 rules.
Yeah, it is a rule. There's rules within rules here. So
Yeah.
the first one is the main one, and it really just about encompasses everything, and that is the Demonic special rule. And every unit in the Iron Book has this, bar none.
Yeah, unsurprising, really. They
Because
are all demons.
They're all demons. There's no mortals here.
No.
It's a hefty rule, and more so than any other army, this really makes what demons what they are.
Yeah.
About this, what is a demon? What is a demon?
It's very similar to unstable.
Very
It's
philosophical.
very similar to undead,
To
isn't
undead,
it? Or,
yeah.
or Nehekaran undead.
Or
which-
Nehekaran, 'cause
Just remember the Warhammer FAQ.
distinctly different.
Yes, tells
You-
us that they do count as undead.
Yes.
You're really not going to let that go ever, are you?
No,
It's
I
really-
love that enough people ask them that question.
I do. I tell you what else I'm not going to let go. 8 legs on your Ragnarok spider.
Oh,
That is a
get
conversation
over
for
it.
another
Oh
day.
my god.
That's a tale for another day.
Oh.
Anyway, demonic. So the first main part of this rule, before anything else, is that if you got the rule, you cause fear and have immune psychology. So that's
Good.
the first part of it is
Yeah,
you cause fear.
both very good.
Both very good. You can't run away.
No.
Can't run from terror, or you don't have a fear test.
No.
You don't have panic test. No, nothing. Nothing of that sort of ilk.
Tactically consistent.
It is, yeah.
That's the crucial element with that. You know what they will do.
Yes.
Which is the reason why you do undead, because you know they're never going to run away.
That is correct.
Doesn't have the gumption to do a scared arm.
No. Look, like, I can build a tactical consistency into a list like that, and you can with demons for the same
You
reason.
can, yeah.
It's brilliant.
So
No
immune
panic test for me.
no panic test for me, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the other rule, we have fear as well. So fear is again something they share with undead and Nehekaran undead as well. But it's more so something to help them out than it is for the undead. Sorry, it helps the undead out more. But it's better in demons because demons of chaos usually, if you're in combat, you're gonna be hitting on 3s usually. So a lot of combat stuff is like skill 5.
Well, I know, it really depends.
Yeah, it really depends.
It really
For
depends.
Nurgle, the fear is probably better.
Better as well. For
Yeah.
Nurgle.
And for Sinesh, where they're a bit squishier, the
Yeah.
fear can be really helpful.
But there's more chance, if you fail that fifth, there's more chance you hit a demon on a 5 than it is for, say, a skeleton.
Well, I mean, yeah, if anyone fails a fear test, they're hitting anything that's not a skeleton
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
with fear on a 5.
Yeah, so
Or a zombie.
Or a zombie.
Yeah.
Zombies web skill 3, aren't they?
What's
What?
one?
How are they better than a skeleton?
Yeah, so skeletons
How
are
in
the
your
same.
head is a dude who hits you with his own foot better than a skeleton?
How
Because
is
he can control the foot. Oh no, I've missed. Let me just flick my ankle round. Obviously.
Like a boomerang, yeah.
How is he not better?
Oh dear.
I
I'm
think-
sorry about these
I think
people.
for me, fear is one of those rules. It's very inconsistent.
It's situational.
And it's the epitome of a if you're looking at the rating system whilst listening to this, it's the epitome of a 1 point situational rule.
Yeah.
So
fear.
what my point here is, it's not as crucial to demons as it is for the undead.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where my tangent began. That's where it should have
Max does
gone.
not do words.
Max can't word well.
Fundamentally, 50% of the book, the fear doesn't realistically change what they hit on.
No.
No.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's
Whereas-
good for you. It's good for your demons and Nurgle. because obviously
and your Demons of Tzeentch.
And your Demons-
Do you know what? And Slanesh as well, because it can mean they hit on 5s.
It stops
Yeah.
them being hit so much.
Yeah, which helps. So it's not bad. And Bloodletters, they're
It's good for everyone. It's probably better on half the book than it is the other half.
but your opponent's not gonna fail it very often.
No, which is the issue.
Which is
Yeah,
why you
which
can't.
is-
And which I'm sure we'll get into, you don't really have any leadership shenanigans in the army bar 2 spells I can think of off the top of my head. I don't think there's a Tzeentch spell that affects leadership. There's one that makes you test on your lowest,
Fantastic.
but
There's-
that's
there's-
not for fear.
Right, so you have access to Law of Death that can
Yeah,
affect
which is
leadership.
in darkness.
We'll point this out. There's a spell in
There's
the Law of
Slaanesh.
Slaanesh that will do
Is
it for you.
Phantasmagoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out the Mask of Slaanesh can also alter
There's
leadership.
that.
She can drop it by 1.
Yeah.
So,
So, you have like 3 entire options.
There's
Yeah.
some options there, and there's some
But not
things
many.
I think.
No. So it's a nice rule, not as it's very situational as
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And as we said, immune psychology it's very nice that you don't need to be worried about being scared about anything. So
Yeah.
stand, but unless you want to stand and shoot, but almost nothing in this army book has a shooting attack to stand and shoot with.
Yeah.
What can you do?
We'll live.
We'll leave it at that. So next in the demonic rule is demonic attacks.
Mhm.
And so this is the first sort of sub rule within the rule. A model of this has magical attacks, and that includes everything from ranged to stomps and special attacks. So your breath weapons, your thunder stomps, your stomps, as it says, your shooting attacks. Anything that your demon attacks with is magical.
Yeah.
There's no way getting around it. Your Banner of the World Dragons is going to be there to stay.
It's a 95% nothing rule. This.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to say this. 5% of the time it matters.
It's either really, really good or
Yeah.
really, really
Bad.
bad.
5% of the
Yeah.
time.
This you go on the whole. This is a beneficial rule for yourself because unless you're fighting that one unit with a banner,
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
it affects nothing else, and it helps
Yeah.
you against ethereal.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
negative against one unit
Yes.
In one army book.
in one army.
And it's
Yeah.
positive against, well, like a handful of units across 2,
2,
maybe 3. I think it's only 2.
Vampires and lizardmen.
Oh, 3.
3.
3 army books.
Forgot Ghost Slam.
Who's the third? What's the other one?
Green Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Britannians.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would like to point out, although this is clearly an FAQ that probably didn't need to happen, it specifies stomp attacks. It doesn't specify thunder stomp attacks. They're obviously also magical.
Yeah.
Stop,
Come
Stomp.
on now.
Thunder Stomp come under
It
Stomps.
comes under Stomp.
It's another book,
It's a
yeah.
subheading of Stomp.
Ah,
It is, yeah.
It's a sub clause 1 of Stomp.
So this is whereas
Stomp 1.1.0.
Yeah.
Stomp.
that's exactly how it is. But as we said, only one army in the game has access to a banner unless you're playing end times with legion lists and stuff
Well,
like
it's
that.
still only one army.
It's still
part of a legion list.
But it's and it's still only one unit. So even then, so as these guys said, it's a nothing roll.
Yeah.
Beneficial most of the time. Messes you up.
I have to
2% of the
say,
time.
it's a rule that Demons players, that banner is something that Demons players
Bellyache about
really
it.
go mad about.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's so broken, there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm like, yeah, there is. You just feed it chaff and just kill the stuff around it.
Or
Like,
you stick a beast and Nuggle into them.
yeah, or yeah, well, I mean,
depends what unit's
it'll
on.
take them ages to kill
Yeah,
it, though. It
yeah.
still takes them ages to kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that I just don't get too het up about the banner. Is my advice to competitive Demons players. Realistically, with a little bit of game management, you can
Yeah.
mitigate the worst
Yeah,
effects.
Absolutely.
just play around it, and again, if you come up against those pesky vampire players of all the ethereal units, it helps you out.
Do you know, that would have been me, but it's probably
It's more me
slightly
now.
more you
It's slightly-
after North Remembers, isn't
After
it?
the 29 ethereal wounds I took to North Remembers.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Let's
So
move on.
We're going to move on to the next perk to being a demon, which is Demonic Aura.
Yes.
And this gives the model with Demonic a 5 ward save, as standard.
Really good.
Doesn't sound as much, but then when you think about it, every model in your army has a talisman of endurance.
Effectively. Yeah.
Effective 30 points per model.
Ward save gold standard rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about these. There's like Fly, ASF, Ward save. They are gold
Oh, no.
standard like elements.
And there's almost nothing in the game that bypasses a ward save.
Yes,
Yeah.
one item that lets you reroll it, one item that ignores it, I believe, and
Yeah.
some
And
spells,
spells
that
that-
swallow you whole.
Yeah.
Of which some of your units can avoid completely as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, they
There are ways you can actually, when we get into the meat of the units, because this is going to be the same on all 4
Yeah, it is,
factions. Slaanesh specifically have some stuff that can completely
Ignore those.
ignore
attacks.
that. It's
Yeah.
very underrated.
Very good. So if I ward save, it's just a third of all your damage is just ignored.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Very good.
So good on units. It's good for. It's funny when your big grey demons deflect a cannonball from thin air.
Has good synergy with magic resistance as
It
well.
does.
And again, there are
Yep.
good chunky units that have it or
Good
can
chunk.
get hold
There's
of
an
it.
entire sub faction.
But that's it.
Yeah, there's an entire sub faction. Be warned though that unlike a lot of other ward saves, this ward save is subject to change.
It's got terms and conditions attached.
It does have terms. We're going to get to that in a second when we
Yes.
go through it, but they are. It might sound weird, but they are subject to change.
Get ready for me to bust some numbers, for Scott to correct those numbers, but for my point still to be absolutely spot on.
And for me, and then for me, just to go, yeah, those sound correct. Those numbers correct. Are they correct, Scott? Do them out. Do them out.
Let's, yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So the last perk of Demonhood is
The final sub point.
demonic instability.
Yes.
So, and this is where you don't run away from a combat. So now this is wordy. So I'll let Scott have a go at reading this time.
I did wonder when it had come to me.
Have a go at reading it. Do you think you
See if I can
get
do
there, mate?
words better than that.
You really had a go at me when I did the Orcs and Goblins deep dive. So I'll let you have. I'll take over a lot of it. And let you do the reading there.
Cheers. So, when a unit of demons loses a combat, it must take a special kind of break test called a demonic instability test, instead of taking a normal break test. To do this, use the following procedure. Calculate combat res as normal and roll 2d6. If the dice roll is a double 1 or double 6, something unexpected happens. On a double one, reality blinks. All wounds suffered by the unit this close combat phase, including any wounds suffered by characters that have joined it, are restored, and any models removed as casualties in this phase immediately return to play in their earlier positions. Wounds restored in this manner still count as having been inflicted for the purposes of combat results.
I don't know why that makes a difference because the test is done after combat.
Yeah,
Frenzy maybe? I don't know.
in a Legions list, Mortals.
No, because they
Still
don't
break.
have demonic instability in that.
Oh, they don't. No, they lose
No.
it. They just go unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know.
So I wonder if it is things like the frenzy.
Count as having winning the combat.
Count as
Yeah,
having-
maybe.
Yeah, the combat result reduced.
A really weird bit to add on the end of it.
Bit,
But
yeah, or double 6, banished, less good. Remove the unit from player as a casualty. Lot less wordy.
it's just that
Literally, it's just that.
remove the entire
It's,
unit.
it's 8 words.
This is why
Treat unit as if Scott rolled on the miscast table.
this is why you need BSBs in your Demon's Army.
It is, yeah. The third point under this.
The third clause.
So now,
Third sub clause.
assuming the unit has not been wiped out when resolving a double 6, apply the difference in combat results as a penalty to the demon's leadership. For every point by which the 2d6 roll exceeds this modified leadership value, the unit suffers 1 additional wound with no saves of any kind allowed. If characters are present in the unit, the controlling player first allocates wounds to the unit up to their current wounds, then divides remaining wounds as equally as possible amongst any characters. Once all wounds have been allocated, the penalty to the demon's leadership is discounted. Note that demonic instability tests do not benefit from insane courage. They can, however, be re-rolled if the battle standard is within 12. Use the General's Inspiring Presence rule and or be tested on unmodified leadership if the unit is stubborn/steadfast. If a demonic unit somehow has the Unbreakable special rule, it takes no demonic instability test. I now understand why that last sentence is there. Because on a double 1 you get all your wounds back, however, you still take into account the modifier for how much you lost combat by. And take those wounds.
No.
Because you don't gain benefit rather from insane courage. So double 1s aren't always a pass.
But it doesn't matter because insane courage only exists on a break test. It's not a break test.
It's a special kind of break test.
Yeah, but so assume you're generally demons
How
at
can
leadership
you
7.
take the wounds and get all the wounds back?
Because so you double 1 it.
What's
So
done
you roll
first?
the dice. If a double 1 or double 6, something unexpected happens, right? So if you roll a double 1, you get all your models back. Lovely. Now, the third point. Now, assuming the unit has not been wiped out when resolving a double 6, nothing about a double 1. Apply the difference in combat result as a penalty to the demon's leadership. For every point by which the 2d6 roll exceeds this modified leadership value, the unit suffers 1 additional wound with no saves of any kind. So your leadership as a demon can go down
I
to
understand
0.
what you're saying. I'm pretty
And then
sure
you
the
lose 2
FAQ says you can't be reduced to less than leadership
It's
2.
0.
Oh, is it 0? So
I'm
you
sure
would
it's leadership
take
0.
2 wounds.
So you take 2 wounds on a double 1.
Okay.
At most.
You heard it here first, maybe.
I
not
think it
fantastic.
says 2. I think you
I
don't
think
take
it's
the
0.
wounds.
I'm sure it's 0.
I think it's 0. I do think it's 0.
Okay, so
Maybe
maybe you then take... I've never seen anyone...
I've never seen anyone
in
do it like that either.
10 years of playing with this army.
No.
Or playing against this army. I've never seen anyone take those wounds.
No.
Ever.
No. Good.
This rule is ridiculous. I'll say it's just ridiculous.
This is what separates demons from undead.
It's ridiculous, right? Unstable, unbreakable is a clearly interbalanced rule whereby you lose wounds in replacement for not running. This rule, legitimately, you don't lose wounds very often.
Not really.
Like you just don't. I'm sorry, you don't.
No.
you look
because you get steadfast and you can test on your benefits from steadfast and you can test on leadership. Probably 8 for a herald, 9 if you've got a greater demon
close by. Again, the more ridiculous element to this is the fact that you can lose combat by like 20, and go, it's okay because I can't possibly, as long as I roll not a double 6, I've got 12 models left. I can't possibly go out anywhere this turn.
Yeah.
But cool. Whereas, for anyone else that's got a real normal rule, you take the figures off. So it's huge. It's a huge rule. The fact you can double 1 and get all your wounds back is absolute insanity as well.
Yeah, it is.
It is characters come back. That's different from every other rule like that.
Absolutely. It takes the flanking role, arguably the most devastating role, battlefield role, and potentially, now it doesn't happen often, it's 1 in 36, but if you've got the BSB reroll, it's 1 in 18.
Nope.
The chance doesn't change, but 18 tests, because you reroll the test.
Yeah.
Every 18 tests, you'll throw it. But it effectively nerfs like lances. It nerfs shock troops massively.
It'll hold them in there. Hold them in their stead.
It obliterates them. It doesn't hold them in their stead. It just flattens them. Because they go in, they do all their joy with their lances, devastating charge, their lances, their whatever they got. You double on it and then turn around. Because then you're steadfast. Because you've got all your ranks back as well. So you're steadfast for the turn round check.
Yeah,
This is why they are one of the top armies in the game.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. So the chance as I said, there is a slim chance which you do lose the entire unit.
Yeah, bad times.
That's why you have VSB.
But again, realistically, the chances of that happening is 1 in every 72 break test you take if you've got a BSB, because you've got to roll double 6
twice
and then roll it again because you'll re-roll it.
Yeah.
So you're literally 4 times more likely to get the double 1 result if you've got a BSB than get the double 6 result, realistically.
So what? So first, to get the double 1,
welcome to Daemons of Maths.
Either 1 out of 36 it, or you 35 out of 36 and then 1 out of 36, because you don't get it on the first roll, but get it on the second roll.
Yeah, you basically get 2 bites of the cherry, which doubles your chances of scoring it.
Yeah,
that's the way to look at it. Whereas with the double 6, you get 2 bites of the cherry to avoid it, which doubles your chances of not getting it, which effectively means that you've got to
half your chance of getting it, because you have to get it on both.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So the disparity of commonality of result is
huge.
Yeah. It's like we're back to the Frostart Phoenix table when we talk about the statistical chances.
The numbers don't sound right, but I'll be honest, it's been too long a day for me to work out if they are right.
Someone's just come back from holiday.
Yeah.
They definitely are.
Okay, that is bold
They
claim.
Definitely are right, because you've basically got 2 chances to score or avoid.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to avoid than it is to score, basically.
It's not the same odds to get a double 1 on a reroll as to not get a double 6 on a reroll, is it? So
no,
it's much easier.
It's 35
to not get
out of 36 to duck it on the second roll. That's what I mean. The gap is humongous when you start factoring in your reroll. They just become really hard.
Are we done mathing?
No, we haven't even got to the chart yet. You wait till I get onto the chart.
But
mate.
no, it's a very good rule, and as I said, it separates demons from undead. It keeps you guys around.
I just want to point out they've already ignored
a
third of the wounds they've taken from the wall soldiers. I've got like
or more.
Or more.
Or a few less.
Or more. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's definitely possible, and we will discuss that in more depth. But the
people at home skip.
Overall
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Overall,
this is good content, people.
Overall, that walled save combined with this is particularly
very
strong.
good.
And
it makes them really tough.
It's why they're up the top.
Yeah, it makes them really hard to break down. Even units that look like they should be
even
easy.
the poorer ones are like that.
Yeah.
See any battle report where Scott uses Nurglings for more information. So
Moving on.
Yeah.
They killed 40 zombies once. Not on a battle report.
Just they'll do that. Yeah. They'll do that. They will, particularly once the tally's up, they'll do it, won't they? Easily.
Moving on. You done?
She pulled the zombies up.
Lastly, we have the Demonic Alignment Rule. So this is a separate rule. It's not a part of Demonic anymore.
No.
It's just called Demonic Alignment. This rule usually sets the tone for your army composition as a whole as well. So firstly, only demonic characters can join demonic units. Doesn't make a difference in the army book. It only makes a difference in the Legion army lists.
Yeah.
Which we'll cover at some point later on down the line. None of much in the detriment of the army book. So, secondly, demon units can only use inspiring presence and hold your ground of a model that has the same alignment as the model with the rule. This is the big bit, because your general and your BSB have to be of the same god.
Of the unit they're trying to affect.
Yeah, so if you're a Lord of Change, which is a great demon of Tzeentch, you can't give your inspiring presence to a Bloodletter unit.
You have to hold your hand up here and say this is a tough rule.
This is tough.
Yeah.
This is a rough rule. This one.
Yeah.
So now this is where it might sort of somewhat level out in demonic instability. Are you going to start mapping again?
No, I'm not. I'm not. But I think this is really interesting insofar as, for me, it doesn't level it out.
It just prescribes lists.
It's a terrible rule. Yeah, it's a terrible rule because whilst there's going to be people at home saying, "Well, yeah, but that would just mean you see Kairos in loads more armies." Yeah, you would.
You would,
Of course you would.
Yeah.
And you'd see like a Keeper of Secrets more regularly, or you'd see like outside of a Slaanesh list or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably would see those things. But honestly, what it's led to the other way is
The rise of the mono god.
well, it's the rise of almost exclusively one mono god. I would say 85-90% of the lists you will encounter.
The mono Nurgle.
Certainly on competitive tables will be.
Well, and when you
Nurgle.
go to events, it almost always is competitive.
Yeah.
So, the vast majority of what you will take on will be Nurgle heavy. And I think worse than that, you're actively penalised for not doing it. It's not just that your army's better for doing it.
Yeah.
You're actively penalised
for not.
See, a Daemons of Chaos army in itself looks very nice if it's a mixed god. It's got loads of different models, loads of different colours going on. It looks physically nice, but then when you prescribe to a mono god list, it looks kind of just green, red, blue, pinks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or shades of purple if you're Slaanesh.
I think the other problem is that for one specific faction, which is Nurgle, obviously, they're given an additional way of bonusing their troops if their troops are Nurgle.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, I'll give you a massive bonus if you stick with Nurgle, or I'll nerf you hard if you don't.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I just think I'll
probably
just
stick
stick with the best option. And this is where I think this is part of a combination of bad rules writing in this supplement.
Yeah.
It really does hamper just a lot of your army lists unless you tailor it to be specifically around.
And I think the intention was good. I think the intention was good. It was like, well, would a unit of Daemonettes take orders from a Bloodthirster? No, they probably wouldn't.
No.
They probably wouldn't. They hate each other. That's great.
I can understand it more if you say that the demons of gods that hate each other don't get the benefit.
Yeah, I think it just becomes so confusing to do that as well.
I would say you get like a -1 penalties in leadership or 2 for inspiring presence.
Yeah, or just reduce it so it's 6.
Or 6 inches.
12 inches normally, or whatever, or
Yeah.
6 inches if they're
-6 off
I
of
think
it.
you could have done the same, but I think what it's done is sort of hard fixed.
Yeah.
The mono god being the kind of the way that people will generally play.
It's also worth saying that demonic characters can only join units that are solely composed of demons with the same allegiance of themselves as well. So Nurgle heralds, for instance, can only join Nurgle units.
Yes.
Epidemius can't join a unit of
Seekers.
Pink horrors or Seekers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that, again, just prescribing mono, a lot of mono lists.
That I don't mind that. I think that makes perfect sense because it's the same as Warriors of Chaos, effectively.
I would mind it. Well, it's not because Warriors of Chaos can share leadership and can share BSB.
No. The joining.
Oh, the joining. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Joining.
Yeah, sorry, apologies. Yeah, that's absolutely total sense. You wouldn't have a Herald of Slaanesh hanging out with like a Tzeentch unit, would you? Just chilling my bird mates.
Down the aviary.
Down the aviary. Anyway, and so lastly, we have the specific rules for the demons aligned to a specific god. So if you're a demon of Khorne, you get different rules. So, demons of Khorne gain +1 strength from the charge and hate demons of Slaanesh.
Yes, they do.
Demons of Tzeentch reroll ward saves and channeling attempts of 1 and hate demons of Nurgle.
Yeah. I don't know what they have against them.
It's lore-wise.
No, man, it was a joke.
There's
Everyone
background
hates
people.
Nurgle. Everyone hates Nurgle.
Weirdly, these are probably the only thing in all of Warhammer existence that don't hate Nurgle because they're broken. they hate them because, like fluff reasons.
Fluff reasons being Tzeentch's change and Nurgle is stagnation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite cool.
Yeah, I do like that.
And Demons of Nurgle cause enemy models to suffer a -1 to hit in combat and hate Demons of Tzeentch.
Good.
That's the kicker.
Good.
You play Warriors of Chaos.
We're going to discuss these
We're
in a
going to
moment.
discuss it, yeah. And Demons of Slaanesh gain armor piercing and hatred Demons of
Also
Khorne.
very good.
You thought you were going to escape this section, Max, without me getting onto it.
Scott, so so I'm going to move into the units. Can I finish?
Are we even done? We're not even close to done.
Can I finish my spiel before you go off on yours? Yeah. Overall, Reed does set the precedent of how your army will build on the very get-go and means that multi-god armies are very hard to get right and mono-god builds are pretty much the most competitive way of building an army.
And go.
And go!
Well, I mean, we've gone backwards there.
You go into so obviously the Tzeentch, Demons of Tzeentch is the best one in there, obviously.
Look, the problem is the problem with the fundamental problem with these four.
When he says fundamental,
flavour
you know you're in for a long ride.
No, the fundamental problem with these four flavour texts is that some of them are completely passive, and some of them are very active. So if you take Khorne, I have to charge, so it requires input action, and it only lasts for one turn.
Yeah.
Right? So it's active and for a short period.
Yeah.
Whereas if I take Slanesh, I'm a piercing
Very passive all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
But
All the time
I
during
have to.
combat,
But I have to. I still have to hit. So it's less active than say Khorne.
No, because you still have to hit with Khorne.
Yes, yeah, but I only get one turn with Khorne. I've got to do it, and I get one turn.
Oh, less active.
Yeah. So it's more kind of passive. So I've got it all the time.
Yeah.
But I still have to hit and wound.
And then the most passively is Tzeentch there on itself.
Then when you look at I think when you look at Nurgle, that is super passive. It's just I just stand here and I
just
get a
have
fat
to
bonus.
be in combat.
You could say it's just aggressively passive.
Also, think about how rare -1s to -1 modifiers are, or +1 modifiers are.
From what
outside of like shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you
Like
think
to hit with
if you
shooting.
think about to hit rolls in combat,
There's
you've got a sword of +1 to hit and a spell that does it.
Yeah.
Enchanted Blades, which
All the
again,
chaos.
There's a couple of spells that do it. Curse of Amber here does it.
no, it's -1. I'm thinking sorry.
Oh,
I'm thinking
just
+1s.
+1s.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
and then
there's not
-1s would be
You've got
Curse over here,
Fars.
Fars Protection.
Protection.
Ice Shot Blizzard.
Ice Shot
Yes.
Blizzard.
3 spells.
So we're talking about. We've talked about 4 spells from Battle Magic,
Yep.
which are widely regarded as 4 of the best spells in the game.
They're all very good.
Period.
Yeah.
Sword of Striking is one
Very
of
good
the
sword.
most common competitive items you'll see. Very good choice.
Very good sword.
You'll have to see it.
You do.
And this is because a specific modifier to the dice is huge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge.
If it was -1, say what it used to be was -1 weapon skill, that makes it a lot better, or a lot more even. So -1 flat.
Well, it makes the rule a lot worse. -1
Yeah,
weapon
it
skill
does,
is way worse than -1 to hit.
Yeah.
-1 to hit is huge. What you've just said is that you have made yourself 17% harder to hit.
18% of it.
No, you're running it up 16.667. But yeah, I'll let you run it up to 17.
17%. 17% harder to hit.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, which is huge.
Yeah, essentially outside of spells or magic items, no one can hit you on a 3.
No. Yeah. 4+ is the worst you will be hit on.
So half of the attacks coming at you are not going to hit.
And
then you've got probably a 5-up wall save.
So a third of the damage.
The damage that goes through. On a toughness which is generically the best toughness in the book.
This isn't even talking if you failed your fear test as well.
Yeah, and again, if we look at, fail your fear test, you're being hit on 6s.
Yeah.
So again, it's about combinations that are not thought
Absolutely.
about. Failing your fear test has very little impact on Khorne because their weapon skill 5, has very little impact on Slanesh because their weapon skill 5, has very little impact on Tzeentch because they can't fight.
Because they are rubbish.
Don't want to be in combat.
Honestly, do you know what I would have done to fix this? I would have made it -1 weapon skill, but I wouldn't have said to a minimum of 0. So that if you fail your fear check, you can't hit, you'll hit automatically.
Yeah, okay.
That's devastating.
Yeah, I don't.
But equally, it just makes me a bit harder to
I
hit.
don't know what I would have done, to be honest. I don't know what I would have done. What I do know is that that's really consistent.
Yeah.
The Tzeentch one is also quite consistent.
It's very
It is.
consistent.
It's solid, very solid.
Unfortunately, the base stats of the guys that have it
Not great.
are poor.
It's really good on the Greater Demons.
Oh yeah, and it's absolutely ace on the Lord of Change. It's terrifying.
It's why it's a lot of lists. I like a list of having just like 4 units of 10 pink or it's just to have 4 re-rolling channeling attempts.
Yeah, not
that's
bad to
quite
spam the channel in tempo.
Well, I mean that is
Which we
strong.
do combat that as well.
Yeah, because it is strong
It's strong,
to just we use them as chaff. You just use them as chaff blocks that generate power dice for you in Nurgle.
And a random spell.
And a random spell.
And a random spell.
If on a gateway.
Yeah, hopefully.
So I think this is the big problem with the 4 in general is that they aren't equal.
No, not by a long,
They aren't
long
equal,
way.
and so then you have to start saying, well, what are we going to do points wise to make them equal? And I think when we get into, obviously that will be different for each of the videos, but this section will be the same for you guys at home. So it's just something for you to think about is, well, how is that reflected? because you know, in general, I don't think it's reflected that well.
No.
And I don't like to sort of really criticise, but I don't see how the most consistent of those powers don't seem to be pointed higher than the least. In fact, they are definitely pointed lower than the least consistent of them.
I would just say these just aren't included in the cost at all.
No.
No. Well, they definitely aren't for some, and they definitely are for others. I think that's fair to say.
I think what James alluded to there, everything's noble was uncosted.
Well, I think that it's very hard to see how it's pointed into something like a plague bearer, for example.
Yeah.
It's very hard, but it's very easy to see that it's definitely been pointed into a 14-point bloodletter.
Yeah.
Who even with it is probably too many points.
Well, because he's still got to make a charge. He's just a bloke. So,
well, I mean, he's a demon.
He's a fishy bloke. He's got
fishy.
Yeah,
he's got horns.
He's got like a fishy look going on, though, haven't they?
No.
I think they do. I think they're a bit scaly.
Look
at their backs. They're a little bit.
What? Because they've got scaly skin
on the back.
Does that make lizard men fish?
No, because I think the backs they've got like little sort of fins.
They have a fin.
You guys at home know what I'm talking about. They've got a fin and they've got scales.
I know what you're on about because I built these guys now. They have a singular fin like
That's
a shark.
correct, like a shark. Yeah.
They don't have scales though.
Next to the fin, they do little rough skins.
It's not their skin. It's not scale though.
Oh, what are you talking about? The
snot-
sharks
a
don't
shark.
have scales. We are a long way from Kansas, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, we're going to move on from
Absolutely lost.
We're going to move on from demonic alignment for James to go on about another rule that he doesn't.
Yes.
He's going to have a lot to go about. And that's going to be the Art the Game special rule, and that is the Reign of Chaos.
You're making me out to be a villain, and I don't think that...
You are the villain. We want to move on.
I've got a Daemons army as well. I've got like 2 models for it. I've actually still not paid Scott. I wonder if at some point I'll pay Scott for some stuff I bought of him. I haven't actually got the models either, so it's still there.
So the point is moot.
So you don't have a Demons Army?
I've got a Herald of Celeste in the other room I painted the other day.
You have what you have is a Demons Mordheim crew.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing is that it's not that I don't like demons. It's not like a hatred thing of them or anything like that, or a particular. For me, they're one of the best factions in Warhammer. Background wise, I love them. I think they're one of those great overarching villains. But I just wish they didn't have some of these really like swingy rules.
Very polarising rules.
Yeah, and I think that there's definitely been an attempt to make the swings feel balanced, but I think in general...
A bit like with the Frostheart table.
Absolutely, yeah. It's much more like that than people think. If you watch the High Elf Deep Dive, you see us talking about how I think it's a third of all the results will be the best result on the table, which is complete disparity on a 6 stack table. And it's the same thing we were just talking about with the demonic instability and the double 1, double 6 stuff, and we'll talk about some of that here.
It's going to be exacerbated in this one as well.
Yeah, it will be.
This is everyone's favourite rule from the Daemons of Chaos army book. Everyone loves the Reign of Chaos.
Everyone's got a Reign of Chaos story, haven't they?
That's the thing. Most of the time, actually, it does very little.
But
probably 80% of the time, it does very little.
Everyone remembers the bad.
Everyone remembers when, that skull thrown by Khorne killed a skink priest. Everyone
knows what
Everyone remembers when the Dark Prince Thirst killed a demon prince, and
well, I think this is the thing. Everyone that plays against demons remembers that time the Dark Prince Thirst killed like 6 knights and lost in the game, or blew up a skink priest with a rock or whatever.
Yeah.
But every demons player sits and goes,
but that was double 1.
I remember that time I lost the point of ward save and then it killed my general. And we're all like, whatever, mate. You just got 1,000 points free off me. I remember seeing a game where the guy rolled the Khorne one. No, he rolled Dark Prince Thirst.
Yeah.
On a landed it on a 625 point Sorcerer Prophet on
Baltaurus.
On the big Baltaurus, and he rolled 3 6s, and he was a quarter of an inch out of the Inspiring Presence, out of the BSB range, and he just picked him up and took him off. And obviously it's like 100 points to the general, 625 points for the cow, and then it was and it's Blood and Glory, so there's like an extra 500 VPs for breaking your army as well.
It's like 1,200 points.
Anyway, so we're going to go into the Reign of Chaos itself then, because we are going to go through the results. Basically, when you roll for the Winds of Magic, you consult this table in the army book, and that's the result has an effect on your army and maybe some of your enemies' units as well.
Yes.
I don't know, let Scott go through the results for me here, as are 11 to read.
Yeah, there's a lot. So, double 1, all units with demonic instability, friend or foe, must immediately take a demonic instability test on their unmodified leadership.
Get all your models back. Roll that one.
No, because it's that phase.
Ah!
But you could be banished on a double 6.
You could be banished.
Yeah, you
Sad
can.
times.
Probably not likely. But
If you're playing inside the Yoki or BSB kind of
Yeah.
thing, you should be safe.
Hold your comments. Hold!
Well, if we comment, surely we're commenting as we go through the things, so we don't have to keep asking back.
You have to get really unlucky to actually banish your demons from this.
I think
yeah,
you do,
super unlucky.
It's also a 1 in 36 that you'll even roll it, because it's double one only, isn't it?
it is.
And there's an item in this book that lets you re-roll it as well.
There is actually.
Yeah, I don't see it very often, I think.
No, you don't, because of the negatives it
points.
gives you.
It's a lot of points, and it also lets your opponent reroll theirs.
Yeah.
And on a 3, punished by the gods, randomly select one character with the demonic instability special rule, friend or foe. If there are no characters with demonic instability currently on the board, count this as the Eye of the Storm, which does nothing. The selected character must immediately take a leadership test, losing wound, with no savings of any kind for each point by which the test is failed. It's a demonic instability test, but without the double 6.
It's basically just a regular leadership test at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is, again, not very common out. It's only
No, it's
2
a
in
3.
36 that you're
A
scoring.
1 or a 2 or a 2 and a 1.
Yeah, so at the minute we've got bad outs are 3 potential.
Yep. So, what's next?
No.
And again,
if
we've
you
still
were
got
gonna
the
comment, I'll
BSB
let you
rerolls and
Yeah,
things like that.
No, so you get your BSB reels and everything like that. So
Yeah.
again, the idea you're gonna lose your herald or your demon, your big greater demon, very unlikely at that point.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you for a fully wounded greater demon, you can't lose it.
You physically can't lose it, no.
Oh, can you not roll a double 6 on
It's
it?
not a demonic instability test. It's
It's
a
a
leadership
leadership.
test which you lose a point for each point by
Oh,
which
so
you
yeah, I
fail.
mean, you don't even care.
Yeah.
A
You can kill a herald.
A herald you
Yeah.
can kill, yeah.
Get a herald or demon prince? No, demon prince
No,
left on
they're
the
not.
wound.
Yeah.
Yeah, left on the wound. Yeah.
Chaotic Ebb, this is a 4. You -1 penalty to your ward saves.
So every
6+.
demon player remembers when this happens
So
to them.
this is, you've got as much chance of this happening as you have the first 2 combined.
Yep.
This I actually think is the worst result on the table.
It is,
Against
yes.
players.
It is. It's
100%.
100% the worst.
I'd much rather take a demonic instability test on every unit in my army than have -1 ward.
100%.
Tame demonic stability in
100%.
which you have your inspiring presence and BSB reroll.
Absolutely. I'm leadership 9 with a reroll. Yeah, I'll say that.
You have a rubbish magic face, but who cares?
And if you're
But you also probably have a rubbish magic phase with 4 dice.
Yeah.
Or you take Mononogal and you probably don't have a magic phase anyway.
Or take Monocorn.
Or Monocorn.
Yeah, I mean they are one of the few armies that you do see
Without wizards.
wizards quite
Yeah.
often.
I think it's point to say you have to roll on this table even if you don't have a wizard.
Yeah.
You have to roll on the table.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Number 5 is Storm of Fire, so these are the first of the god-specific ones. So you roll a d6 for each enemy unit and each friendly unit that contains 1 or more Demons of Nurgle or models with the Mark of Nurgle on the board.
So it affects Warriors of Chaos as well.
It does. Do not roll for units that are engaged in close combat. On the roll of a 6, place a small round template centred directly over the centre of the unit. This then scatters d6. Any models wholly or partially beneath the template's final position suffer a single strength 4 hit with a flame attack special roll.
Okay, so this one's 4 outs.
2-3, 3-2, 4-1,
4-1-1-4.
Yeah.
So 4 outs this time. So it's slightly more again.
Yeah.
Now, my big gripe with this is that it hits this is the one that hits Nurgle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Tzeentch's
So
specific.
this
Yeah.
hits your own demons if they're demons of Nurgle, and it hits everyone on the enemy side if
Yeah.
you roll a 6.
Yeah.
Nurgle units are insanely tough.
They are.
Minimum tough. Bar Nurglings, minimum toughness 4.
So you look at it and say, so even if you're all Nurgle, right, and you roll this one, you've got as much chance of hitting your unit as my unit. Even if you like rock it right in the centre of a unit of Plague Bearers and hit 15. I don't think you'll hit much more because they're 25s.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're probably on 12.
I think you're
14.
I think you're 12, 14 maybe.
Maybe.
Let's say 14. Let's really treat it as
Yeah.
it's 7 wounds, and on a bad day, I'll take 5 of them. Might pass 4.
I'd say you take 4 wounds for
And it's got 2/3 of the time it will scatter as well.
Yeah.
It's not a big concern for Nurgle, and that's
No.
if I've not got any tally up, by
Reed-
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reed does not hurt Nurgle as much as
It hurts a lot of enemies though.
Hurts
Does-
Empire, Elves, Goblins, Undead,
Skaven,
Skaven,
Tomb Kings,
Beastmen.
Beastmen.
Beastmen toughness 4.
50% of them
No
dead,
armour.
mate.
Yeah,
armour.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It really does not hamper as much as they think it's going to
Skinks.
hamper.
well,
It really
it's,
hurts
it's
against.
it's just not strong enough for me. As we go through these, for me the design would have probably been it does
affects
it
the hated god more
more
than the enemy.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I would have done with it. Yeah.
So for this one, for instance, you make it strength 5 against Nurgle.
Yeah, 4 against everything else.
Yeah.
So, also against Nurgle, it's flaming, so you will get rid of, say,
Beast regen or
Beast
the
regen.
Locus of regen.
Got a wounded beast though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Also, we'll say it's the only time in which Tzeentch, well, we'll go into later on, it's the only thing that gets rid of Warp Flame Region as well.
Yeah.
In the magic phase.
It also because it happens in friendly magic phase, it's unlikely that even stripping the regen's going to mount.
No.
Unless you've got like a herald that miscasts in a unit that had the regen locus or something. I mean, we're really getting into the
Clutching.
specifics. Yeah,
Clutching.
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
So 6 is Rot Glorious Rot, Nurgle's specific one. You roll a d6 for each enemy unit and each friendly unit that contains one or more Demons of Tzeentch or modelled with Mark of Tzeentch on the board. Do not roll for units in... sorry, I should have also pointed out, Storm of Fire, you don't roll for units that are engaged in combat.
Yes,
You said that.
Sorry.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you
Good.
did say.
You also don't do it for this one. On the roll of a 6 for the unit suffers d6 plus 3, strength 3 hits with no arm saves allowed.
I actually like this one. I do like this.
It's okay.
So again, 3 and a 3.
For
So
6,
6,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
3 and a
5
3,
and a 1,
5 and a 1, 1
5,
and a 5.
4 and a 2,
2 and a
2 and a
4.
4. So
5.
it's more outs as well.
Yeah.
Now I know that it can't be perfect, but you're more likely to score this one than you are the last one.
Yeah.
So we're already talking about the faction that we know is the
Mhm.
strongest competitively.
Yeah.
Is actually less likely to be hit than probably the weakest faction in the book, which is Tzeentch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because they tried to tie it to the numbers of the gods.
well,
and
but
that's
they
why.
don't.
It
They
didn't work.
failed to do that.
Yeah, it did.
Because Tzeentch should be 9.
and 6 is Tzeentch.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh wow, yeah, that is
Yeah.
really wrong.
So it
None
doesn't-
of them are right.
None of them are
Oh
right.
wow, I thought it just got screwed up
'Cause-
because 7 was in the
Because
middle.
Nurgle's is 7.
No, we're 7.
So yeah, so I knew
Yeah,
it got
yeah.
screwed up because 7's in the middle and 7 nothing happens.
Yeah.
But I thought it just
No.
pushed the other two out
No,
slightly.
no.
Oh.
No, it's all,
Tzeentch is 9, Corner's 8.
Corner's 8, yeah.
The Slash is 6,
It's
no,
all,
we're
it's
7.
all skewed round.
Oh wow, that's just really wrong.
So again, it's
Hilarious.
more likely to punish probably the weakest faction.
Yeah.
in the book. And again, the no armor save part of it. You're is it? No, I'm right.
Yeah,
saying
no
it's
armor
an
save,
save. Yeah. Again, doesn't matter to demons. I don't.
No.
Very
But
little.
it only hits
actually
Demons of
has
Tzeentch,
armor
so
saves.
Does
Yeah,
matter.
which doesn't
Does
get
matter to every other your enemy units as well, though. If they're heavy armor.
But yet, see what I mean. So it's
He's
not
good
really a
against them,
negative
yeah.
for you.
No,
What we're
no.
seeing with the damage ones so far is that they're far more likely to damage your opponent than you.
Yeah.
And if you're Nurgle, you're being hit the least so far.
Yeah.
Let's.
So 7 is the Either Storm. Nothing happens this time. So this will be your most common out.
Yeah. So this is approximately 6 combinations, I believe, for 7. 6 and a 1, 1 and a 6, 4 and a 3, 3 and a 4, 5 and a 2, 2 and a 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So
it's
that's your most common. So most of the time, it should be nothing
Yeah,
happens.
I mean that is 1 in 6. You should score a 7
Every
once a
game.
game, basically.
The Dark Prince Thirst,
This
which
is
is
one
number 8.
everyone hates.
Yeah, arguably, probably is the best of the 4 god-specific ones.
Oh,
The
it's
gods
comes to
thing,
mind,
yeah.
this one.
You roll a d6 for each enemy unit and each friendly unit that contains one or more Demons of Khorne or models with a mark of Khorne. Don't roll for units engaged in combat. On the roll of a 6, the unit must take a leadership test on 3d6, adding the results together. If the test is passed, nothing happens. Otherwise, for each point by which the unit failed the test, it suffers a wound with no armor saves allowed.
This thing.
So
wrecked.
5 outs again,
Yep, same as 6.
same as 6. So still more likely to hit a Khorne unit than a Nurgle.
Yep.
Yep.
This stinks. It's horrible.
It stings.
This is really powerful.
I've seen like demon princes. I've seen monsters. I've seen everything.
I
between-
Tonian paladins and lords on
Yeah.
Pegasus.
I had a game a
Disgusting.
couple of weeks ago where this killed Skull Cannon on turn 1.
That's rough.
That is rough.
For them, yeah.
For you.
But you know, it was, and you think like he didn't do anything wrong. He just got to those the way he did. He took a Skull Cannon and an Nurgle army. That's what you get. But,
You know what you did.
But,
You know
but
you
yeah,
are.
I mean it's rough.
It is.
It's rough,
it
and
is rough.
it's the one that the greater demons fear, and I think that's
Yeah,
something
it
that's
is,
worth
yeah.
pointing out.
Yeah.
Is that realistically for the Nurgle and Tzeentch ones, Storm of Fire and Rock Glorious Rock,
The great
the
demons
greater
don't
demons
care.
don't
Don't
fear
really
them.
care.
They
No.
fear this one,
Oh, yes.
and they fear the next one.
But
as
they're
well.
not.
Yeah.
They're not hit by this one because they're not Khorne.
Right.
Only hits demons of Khorne if.
Yeah.
Bloodthirst
got
is a great
Bloodthirst,
demon,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
He's terrifying.
Bloodthirst are terrified. They're like sort of the Nurgle and the Tzeentch ones aren't scared, like you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, but as in, like, the Nurgle Greater Demons aren't scared of the Tzeentch,
Yeah.
aren't scared of Storm of Fire, and the Tzeentch Greater Demons aren't scared of Rock Glorious
It's
Rock.
upset. It's
So
upset.
it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's really
That's the
upsetting that the Bloodthirster is terrified of that.
Absolutely
Because to be
terrifying.
frank, this one is good against every single unit.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Storm of Fire or Rock Glorious Rock, well, it just isn't.
No.
It just isn't the same for everything.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Moving on.
Moving on to Khorne's Wrath, number 9. Again, roll a d6 for each enemy unit and each friendly unit that contains one or more Demons of Tzeentch or models with a mark of Tzeentch. Don't roll for units in combat. On the roll of a 6, place a small round template centred directly over the centre of the unit. This then scatters 3d6. Resolve.
Result.
Yeah, resolve damage as you would from a stone thrower shot, with the model under the centre of the template suffering a strength 9 hit with the multiple wounds d6 special rule. All other models, wholly or partially under it, suffering a strength 3 hit.
So it's another one of those that I think people iconically remember being a horror show for them, but realistically,
It's just
isn't
not.
actually very good.
The scass is pretty big, but if you
The
do
scouts
scout
averaging
huge.
10,
if you roll that direct hit,
1/3 of the time.
It's not
After
even
rolling
so
a
much.
6.
It's not just the direct hit though. That's the thing. It's like you could roll the unit next to or 10 inches away from that greater demon or that character you want to kill, and it scatters onto him.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of ways.
This is
of
probably the
getting
most
hit.
random one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And
But terrifying if it hits.
Only got 4
like,
outs
a
again,
model
though.
or something.
So we're back on short outs again.
Yeah. Terrifying if it hits like a monster or a lone character or something.
Or hits a
Really
tree man.
scary.
And I think it's
not
interesting because I think
no, you did kill a tree man once with it.
I did.
in pure terms, in the pure list terms, I think we probably all have. I think we all agree that we think Tzeentch is probably the second after Nurgle, just slightly behind Nurgle. And Khorne's not far off of Tzeentch as well, but I think they just
I think it
tip
probably
the
goes
scale.
Nurgle, Slaanesh, Khorne, Tzeentch.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I
with,
think
with those sort of gaps in between. I think there's quite a gulf between Tzeentch and Nurgle.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
think there's much of a gap
no, I
between
don't think
Tzeentch
there's a
and
lot.
No.
I think it's just the spell casting, really.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting again that we think they're the second best, and they also only have 4 outs, the same as the Nurgle ones do. So there's still some disparity there with the better factions getting a better kind of taste of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 10 then, Chaotic Surge. All models with the Demonic Instability special rule, friend and foe, gain a +1 bonus to their ward saves, which will normally mean you get a 4+ ward saves to your next roll for the Winter Magic.
Yep, so every model in your army now has a Talisman of Preservation.
Yeah, they do, baby.
And also, if you are playing a demon on demons, you can get yourself to a 3 ward save.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Which I think I played your brother once, so we did get some 3 ward save the entire.
No one died.
They just threw dice at each other that turn and was like, please don't make me take the instability test. Please don't make me take the instability test.
There's a 3 ward save across everything. I think it's like Demons of Tzeentch versus Demons of Tzeentch as well. So it's like
Nothing died.
Again, 3 outs for this one.
Yep.
So
this is the best result on this table in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is for you. Other than like Dark Prince first killing your opponent's general, it really matters.
Yeah.
But I think this one is the consistent big winner result.
Absolutely.
I don't find everyone rolls. Whenever you play Demon's Chaos, they always roll a 10. And then they don't want to be sure that it's the 10.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, I think that's the plus on ward save.
I'm not sure. Is it? Is it?
And I always look at them like, that's the plus on
It
ward
is the
save.
same.
It's the plus on ward
It
save.
is the same number of outs as the minus one as well, which is good that
The table's
match.
got the mirror.
Yeah.
Yes.
So outside of the 4 god-specific ones, it
Messing
very
it up.
much
It's
mirrors
very much
itself
Yeah,
from the higher and lower
the
end.
2 and 3 result and the 10, 11 and 12, the 10 and 11 result.
Yeah,
are
11 and 12.
11 and 12, sorry. They are like, they do mirror each other like quite nicely.
Which is quite nice.
Certainly the plus and minus one ward saves,
Yeah.
I think they're also the biggest results because they affect your whole army.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to roll for them.
And
you don't have to roll the result and then roll another die.
Yeah,
it happens.
You know.
It's just you've got it.
And it happens, because it lasts the opponent's turn as well. Whereas when we were talking earlier about I'll take demonic instability tests,
It's a done.
yeah, it does
roll in,
affect my
it's
whole
done.
army, but it's a roll and done, and it's bust and sorted. Where I think these have a much larger impact, and I agree
Absolutely.
with Max. This is the best result for me.
It is not being the best roll for myself.
Moving on to 11, Demonic Possession. Randomly select one enemy wizard on the board who does not have the Demonic Instability special rule. If there are no enemy wizards on the board, you count it as a 7. The selected wizard must pass a leadership test or be removed as a casualty with no saves of any kind allowed. If the leadership test is failed, then before removing the wizard, place a Herald of Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh, your choice, anywhere within 6 of the slain model that is more than an inch from all units and impassable terrain. If you choose a Herald of Tzeentch, generate its spell immediately. This herald can act normally in the turn it is created. If you do not have a spare Herald of Chaos model, or if one cannot be placed on the board according to the aforementioned restrictions, the selected wizard is removed as a casualty, but no herald is placed. Possibly kills a wizard and gives you a free herald.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, it's not good.
Funny when you kill Teclis with her.
Yeah.
When he rolls,
Look,
he rolls more than a 10.
I have a Herald of Tzeentch model for if this ever happened, because I think
Yeah, you get
for the
a spell.
spell.
You get a spell.
It's +1 to dispel. I'd do it in my army. I think maybe if I had like a
You also get-
Keeper of Secrets Slaanesh army, maybe I'd go with a Slaanesh Herald. Keep it themey, because I think they're all quite
But
good
if
at
you
that
go,
point.
if you go Herald of Tzeentch, you do get a choice between Metal and Tzeentch.
Yeah, I think it's one where I'd have one of each in the case.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I'd take
Depending
a
on
lot.
the situation.
Maybe.
I'll have that lot.
maybe.
But yeah, I agree. I just think it doesn't come up very often because it's only 2 outs.
I
When
don't
it does
think-
come up, they almost always pass.
I've
it.
never seen a wizard get possessed by this.
Once.
I don't.
Was it
I've never
Tempest?
seen it either.
No,
That's a shame.
it was like a Empire Battle Wizard. I was using demons.
Was it a hero?
I think I was using the demons. Yeah, it was like leadership
Yeah.
7 dude, mate. He was out of range.
You're like, why?
He was out of range of the general,
And
and he was out of
rolled
range
an
of the
8
BSB
then,
and rolled an 8. I'm like, it's 10 years or more since I've seen that happen. I think that was in a Games Workshop that's been closed for 8 years.
Look, I mean,
yeah.
if you've got foresight, maybe you could cast Phantasmagoria on them the turn before, make them roll the
If
leadership
you
test
have
on an
got
extra dice.
you're like the luckiest person in
if
the
you've
world.
got foresight,
Yeah.
what, the gift of seeing the
Yes.
future. If you're Elrond,
Yeah, Elrond.
Yes.
what other fantasy elves
Yeah.
are available?
Not in this situation. If you're Elrond,
Or Sanguinius.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Curse, didn't he have it as well?
He did, yes, but he
Yeah.
went crazy because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to fantasy. 12, double 6, Summon from Beyond. Place a new unit consisting of 2d6 plus 3 Bloodletters, Pink Horrors, Plague Bearers, or Demonettes, you choose. When placing the unit, it can be placed anywhere on the battlefield at least an inch away from all units, buildings, and impassable terrain. It can be placed in any legal formation, so long as the unit's front rank contains at least 5 models. If the summoned unit cannot be placed because there is not enough room or you do not have enough models, the unit does not enter play at all.
Again, I think I just have a unit of horrors in the back.
Can't have command options, can they?
No,
No.
so there's an asterisk on both Demonic Possession and Summon from Beyond. Although, hilariously, they've... sorry, it is on both. New units created by these results do not have any upgrades or award victory points, but are otherwise treated exactly as for other units of their type. So no command, no magic banners, nothing like that.
I think the problem with this is not just that it doesn't happen very often, but is also realistically that the unit isn't big enough to have a huge impact.
Not
It
really.
might get you a cannon or a piece of artillery. Where I've seen this be good, and again, it's just random. It's just this is where we talk about like those like Warhammer. You kind of Warhammer toolkit of skills is spotting when something random happens that you can then go, oh,
Actually,
I can
really
latch
capitalise,
that.
yeah.
You know, I can latch onto that. I can capitalise and make something happen. And I think the where I think this one can have that effect most significantly is in mission play. Which is not rulebook stuff really, because rulebook missions, if you're playing them,
if you're playing got like some table quarters, you need to be in an area.
yeah, if you're playing standard rulebook missions though, it won't really happen unless you rolled it turn 1 and put them in the watchtower.
I was going to say, I'm assuming you can be summoned into a watchtower.
Potentially, if there's
Can you not?
I guess not. No, 1 inch away from all units, buildings. And
there you go. So no. So from mission play point of view, very unlikely to have any effect.
Yeah,
on the
unless
main
you
rulebook.
roll it on like your turn 5, move them into the watchtower on your
And
turn
the game
6.
hasn't ended because
Yeah.
it can end on turn 4.
Yeah,
in
Four,
Watchtower.
yeah. Super. But where I've actually seen it used quite well is it was a mono Nurgle army, so I think we all know who used it. And they had models that were running around them from their opponent's army who they just couldn't catch because they didn't have any spells. So got the Summon from Beyond, summoned some Pink Horrors, gave them a magic missile,
Yeah.
and just went, here we go.
Magic
Now I
missile.
can catch you.
Yeah.
That I
That's
think
good.
is a really good use for them.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, when I've been to events in the past where it's like, you know, get into table quarters, like Max says,
Yep.
for bonus VPs. I mean, events like Cardiff Crusade had get onto hills, get into opponents'
Yeah.
deployment zones, things like that. I mean, it's ideal for that because
Yeah.
you pop them in half inch from the enemy board edge. Do you know what I mean? So you know there is some mileage there, but in general, it's not going to come up like.
No.
Worth noting out as well, every hit and wound from this table is magical as well.
Yes, it is.
Because I think a lot of people, when this book came out, they said, "Oh, it's not magical, so don't get the."
I mean, it's in an asterisk.
yeah, but you think that people are silly.
Yeah.
Praise the Banner of the World Dragon. Yeah, it's.
I mean, it makes sense. It's
It
magical.
does make sense.
It's the reign of.
It's
in the magic
and your
phase.
leads of magic.
Everything in here is magical, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But so
stuff of magic.
that's the Reign of Chaos.
And that's it for special rules, isn't it?
It's
Oh god, we're
special.
done.
So the Reign of Chaos, it may not seem like much, but it can have a hell of an effect on your
Oh,
army.
I think it's a huge part of
It
it.
might not seem like as much when you first look at it.
Yeah.
When you actually put it into practice on a game,
Yeah.
I think if you just glance at it and go, oh well, 7's average. Average means I'll get it most of the time, and nothing happens.
no.
no.
It's got the most outs, but cumulatively, you're much more likely to get something else.
You're 5 times more likely
to
to
get something else than nothing.
I'll also, if you play Demons, you are guaranteed to have had a point in your time which this has messed up your battle plans.
100%.
Yeah. I think in general though, because of the nature of the chart being very few really hideous results for you.
Yeah.
And I think again because you see the results in there, you can read that chart and go, well, you know, I'm not going to take much of this because I don't want to get hit.
I'm not going to take much
result.
corn because I don't want a Dark Prince Thirst to hit me.
Guess who just bought Corn Army?
You can do that if you want to, and I think because of that, and because in general, the damagey ones on you, and you can offset a lot of. In general, it's better than it is worse.
I feel like this kind of stuff they did look and say, we've got to try and hamper monogod list somewhat. But it hasn't.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do, but
he really
it just hasn't worked. No.
He just helped you out more than anything else in the army.
I think they just ended up, again, it's cool idea stuff that in practice
doesn't work.
No.
Doesn't really have the... Well, I don't know what their desired effect was, but I think if their desired effect was what you guys are saying, then it doesn't really have that desired effect.
Does not.
So that's it. That is it for special rules.
Ooh.
That took a long. That
was a chunk.
But it will define everything we do. In
it defines the entire army book as a whole. These special rules, they affect everything.
They do.
They do affect everything. But now we're going to begin our descent into madness. Here we go.
I've closed the book.
Don't know why I closed the book again. So we're going to begin our descent into madness with the specific unit ratings of the demons that we're going through today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you get to see which one of us is in the middle chair.
It's going to be me. Not all the time, though.
No, it won't be you all the time, will it? The way you said it's going to be me, I'm like, it definitely isn't. It's not going to be all the time.
Not all the time, no.
What am I writing?
Let's move on. This time it's me again! Can he get rid of me? He can't get rid of me at all with these ones. So we're going to start off with the units of the Daemons of Tzeentch now. But usually there is a screamer in the room. James is so excited for this deep dive.
Do you know what we've got to say before you do that?
Oh yeah.
Demons can have their leadership reduced to 0.
Yes.
As per the FAQ. We checked this out whilst we were off camera and have now said this 4 times.
Good stuff. Anyway, due to the random nature of Chaos and the gifts that the characters receive, we feel it's only right that the generic characters are included in here as they're not going to be featured in a competitive character series video.
No.
You just can't write tactics for a model in which you roll on a random table for their items.
I'd argue you just can't write tactics for a Herald of Tzeentch, but
I argue you just don't give a gift to a Herald of Tzeentch.
Yeah.
I mean, that is legit.
Give the gift of Herald of Tzeentch to someone who you want to lose games.
You can see how much James is looking forward to this. He's cracked his knuckles. He's ready to rip this apart.
I've been waiting
for so long. 16 months.
I honestly think this is going to get the worst write-up from me.
I can only see it's going to. So anyway, for the Demons Deep Dives, we're including the generic characters and discussing their profiles they have and going through the best types of gifts that you could probably want to give to them.
Spoilers in this one, probably don't give them a gift.
No.
Lord of Change you give gifts to.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
There
do
you go.
that.
Yes.
Anyway, on with the show then, and we're going to divide the army book units into their respective categories and give them their competitive score. Remember, if we feel like a unit could be used in multiple categories, then we'll put it in multiple. Spoiler, there is one that does share a category.
Yeah.
There is one. Yeah. I mean, we did a
did.
We've
But I
done
can't
this enough times to know already what that one is.
So let's start with Battleline Units for the Daemons of Tzeentch with the only unit here, and it's Pink Horrors of Tzeentch.
Whirling Destroyers, Squealers, Spinning Sour Guts.
Nice.
Squealers.
Squealers. Legitimately, they're called Squealers.
And they get a rating of 12 out of 24.
Yeah, they don't quite scream like screamers,
No.
but they squeal.
They squeal like squealers.
Yeah.
1 for strength of
They are
attacks.
pink, like a piggy.
1 for strength of attacks, 1 for number of attacks, 4 for special rules, 3 for command options, 2 for survivability, and 1 for cost. They're the only battle line unit that Tzeentch has, and I would not count them as battle line if I had the choice.
Yeah.
What would you count them as?
The chaff
Caster.
Support?
support maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do them as support.
Could have put them in support.
But
I wouldn't.
they're your only battle line, so I think they just have to be battle
They
line.
have to be battle
That
line.
if you go mono Tzeentch, that is your only option.
Yes.
And the thing I think of them is, would I take them as support in a not mono Tzeentch army?
No.
I think they're best used in a mixed demons army behind your Plague Bearer brick.
Yes.
or your corn brick, or your demonic brick. Just behind a brick.
Yeah.
Behind, under a brick, with James using them on the actually crushing them with a brick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of using them to level up your table if it's wonky.
Come on, man. They're nice models.
On or in fact off the spruce.
But anyway, so they are level 1 wizards. With the sort, it's similar to the way Doomfire Warlocks and Sisters of Thorn work. I don't think it's completely the same.
No, because they're level 2 wizards.
Ooh.
They're good.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah. So a unit Pink Horrors is treated as a level 1 wizard that uses spells from the lore of Tzeentch. It receives an additional +1 to cast for each rank of 5 or more models in the unit after the first, to a maximum of +3. Each time the unit casts a spell or is targeted by a special rule that affects a wizard, you must nominate 1 Pink Horror in the unit as the caster or target for the purposes of line of sight, range, etc. In the event of a Pink Horror unit rolling a miscast, do not roll on the miscast table. Instead, Instead, the unit suffers 2d6 strength 10 hits with no armor saves allowed. I'm not sure why that caveat was there.
In case you glitter and robes them, obviously.
What, strength 10?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
that's scary.
I mean, you're not losing dice for it.
No, but you don't lose dice on the Sisters or the Doomfires one, but you only take D3 wounds.
Doomfires take D3 and then mug
and
it
then
off
mug it off on the ward
save.
save, yeah.
I mean, you could possibly mug it off on the wall save
Yeah,
with these ones.
they are
Yeah,
core.
it's 2d6.
It's worth remembering.
They are core. They're also 13 points a model. I think they're the same price as a Plague Bearer.
And yeah,
they're 13 points a model.
Yeah, I know you gave them a 1 for cost. I think they're okay for their cost because they are a wizard. They do channel and it's
13.
worth. I think it's worth pointing out that the way that they cast spells, they pick a model in the unit. It's not a champion or a banner or any of that stuff. They just pick a model, which is actually really good because there's lots of good sort of shenanigans with LOS when you do that.
Yeah, so if you're out of the archetypes on some model and not in the archetype others,
you can you'll be able to do a lot more with your reforming and your kind of angling to get to clip stuff with magic missiles or relative other things that are useful.
Yeah, they also have the Blue Horrors special rule. So when a model with this special rule is slain in combat, not removed as a result of demonic instability, place 2 counters next to each unit. After all attacks have been made, before the combat result is calculated, choose 1 enemy unit in base contact with the unit and roll a number of d6 equal to the number of counters, even if the Pink Horror unit was wiped out. For each roll of a 4+, the nominated unit suffers a strength 2 hit, distributed as for shooting. Any unsaved wounds count towards the combat results. The counters are then removed.
I mean, it's something. It's not a lot.
It's not very good though, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
He's there.
James just looks dead in the corner.
I don't
Like
know
you've lost
what.
the will to live.
I want to paint
What's
these
it?
things positively, but they're best employed just at the back, chucking spells.
Yeah.
You know, and being channeling attempts, and maybe holding banners up in banner-related missions.
Yeah.
I think the best. I've got whenever I use a Northern Tzeentch Demons Army, I do usually have like 4 units of Pink Horrors with banners. Just doing they reroll channeling attempts of 1, so I was doing 4 channeling attempts rolling 1s.
Yeah.
And basically channeling battery for something like a Lord of Change or Fate Weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all they
which
are.
is fine because there is stuff in there they have access to that can do some business. You just got to accept that you're not a traditional Battleline army if you're playing Mono Tzeentch.
No, you're not. No.
Which is fun. I feel like everything about them disappoints me. The lore of Tzeentch I find really frustrating. We've talked about it on the channel many times. It's so random.
We spoke about it in the Warrior Scouts deep dive.
Which is worse in a book that is as random as demons can be.
Yeah.
When you're not one of the better demons, kind of stat wise. Yeah. And then they take huge volumes of hits when they miscast at really high strength.
Yeah, I don't really understand why it's 2d6 strength 10.
Which is horrible for them. And they that when they do the blue thing, that they're only doing a strength 2 hit. Why not make it strength 3 like a Slayer?
Because it's a Blue Horror.
Slayers are hardly tearing up the meta.
Blue Horrors are fluff-wise, they're Pink Horror split into 2, so they are smaller, so they're lower strength.
Yeah.
That's
They
the
only
reason.
do it half the time, so one of them does nothing.
Yeah, because they're Blue Horrors. They run off and go do
Why
something
not
else.
just say that the 2 of them do a little hand bite at the same time? And
Because that's what it is. You just go like that. You just mug it off.
Yeah, I totally get where you're arguing with the fluff there, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. But
James is not happy.
It's just.
This is the first unit. This is the first unit.
I want more. I'm paying 13 points a model, man.
Look, we can all agree they are not very good.
No.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to move on into
Please.
our flankers, because that's all the Battleline Units for Tzeentch.
Yes, it is.
And it's going to be like this for pretty much the entire Daemons of Tzeentch deep dive. And so we're going to continue navigating the Crystal Labyrinth. And we have our flankers. We have Screamers of Tzeentch and Soul Grinders of Tzeentch with the Demon Bone Claw. The returning, like the final time in flankers that we're going to see the Soul Grinder.
Yeah. But not the final time.
Depends what order you watch
depends
video.
Depends what you watch it in. So Screamers, they come in with a rating of 16 out of 24. They get 2 for strength of attacks, 3 for the number of attacks, 3 for special rules, 4 for maneuverability, 3 for survivability, and 1 for cost. My first point is, don't let the deceptive score get to you. They need support desperately.
Yes.
These
I
are
think that is very fair.
These are close to greatness.
They're close to being good.
No, the only thing they're missing out is a change of troop type.
Well, and the Lamprey's Bite needs a fix for me.
Yeah.
They are war beasts, so not only can they not stomp themselves, they can be stomped.
Yeah.
It's really
I don't get it. They're big and they're flying.
I know.
How are you stomping it?
I know.
I mean, right, so they're fly, which is really good.
Yep.
We all agree. You have to
Yes.
agree.
Yeah, no, no, they frustrate me again because they are close. They're really close to good.
Yeah.
Like they are. I would probably take them in a pure Tzeentch army. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You're not going to take anything else.
so yeah,
More pink covers.
so they're fly. Demons Tzeentch let to reroll their war saves of 1. So
Yeah, good.
They're quite tanky in some regards.
Toughness 4, 2 wins.
2 win space, toughness 4, 3 attacks apiece.
Yep.
Yeah.
All good. We have the Lamprey's Bite, which James has alluded to, which if you're fighting a model with a large target special rule, you gain multiple points D3.
Why specify large target? This is the
Yeah.
frustration with the rules writing for me again. If it didn't specify large target, these would be great against ogres. They'd be great against warriors,
Characters.
chaos demon princes. They'd be good against characters. You know what? They're rubbish
They'd be
against.
good against Dreadsaurians.
Yeah, they're rubbish against the Dreadsaurian because he's not a large target. Forget his toughness.
I think if the caveat was anything monstrous,
Yeah, I could accept that.
Yeah,
I don't think your D3 ones get start like characters and stuff.
Why
like
not?
Chariot.
What
Chariot.
I don't understand is why is he can latches on.
He's getting so angry he can't even
So
speak.
he latches on to like you if you're a large target
Yeah.
and suckles on you like a big sort of
Leech.
manta leech, right? But he can't do that to your head.
No, he just bites your head off.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, but I would suggest that inflicts multiple wounds, Scott. I would
Well,
suggest that's what it does.
When you're infantry and you have 1 wound, it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah, but if you're an infantry character, apparently he
No.
can just sort of sucker on your face,
No,
and you're
James-
like, "That's alright."
James, you can do that because you can do that to a Lord character because they got 3 attacks. You can kill a Lord character in 1 go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the one's Lord character got 3 wounds.
That's what makes you face. You just can't. This is the twitching of my.
So Lamprey's Bite, it can be good if you've got the right buffs on them, which is why I go back to my thing. They need to be supported so desperately
Yeah.
with spells and everything like that.
Yeah.
They're good against those monsters that like to be tough as well, because although you're going to say, well, you know, it's going to be like 5s or 6s to wound, most of those don't have much of a save. So
No.
the fact that I can do multiple wounds off of, I can score. Most stuff struggles to wound, like
Yeah.
a Kemrian War Sphinx.
Yeah.
But these guys, when they do,
Well, it's
they
different.
can deck it in like
Yeah.
2 bites. It's amazing.
They also have their slashing attack,
Yep.
which Scott will read out for me.
So if a unit of Screamers moves over 1 or more unengaged enemy units in the remaining move subphase, choose one of those units. It suffers D3 strength 4 attacks per Screamer. These attacks hit on a 4 and are treated as shooting attacks. I don't know why they rolled hit.
Why? Yeah.
I think
I love
that's
it.
very unfair.
I love it. Do you want to be a Hex Wraith, but rubbish?
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, if it was just like D3 strength 4 hits,
Mhm.
as everything else with this sort of thing has,
Yep.
it'd be so much better.
Look, we're being very unkind to it. The Master in a Grugny loves it because it's a shooting attack. That's a 5+ wall save, baby.
Banner of Blood Key?
Yeah, the Banner of Blood Key. That's a 4+ wall save, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Because they were going to wreck me otherwise.
I want to like these guys so
Again,
much.
I love the fact they've really tried to do the random thing with Tzeentch. But random number of hits, random chance to actually then hit, and then you've still got roll to wound. And it's not doing anything to armour, but just a -1.
Yeah.
You compare it to something like a Hex Wraith,
Yeah, it's
and
just ridiculous.
it's just
I
really,
mean, when you compare
Not
really
even
harsh.
close.
When you compare it to the points of X-Wraith, so these guys are 40 points a model.
I mean, the Hex Wraith does only have 1, but it is ethereal. But
yeah,
if
and
you've
it's
got
strength
them,
5.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the Hex Wraith I think is the correct points.
Yes.
So I think these guys are well over. But like you say, if they were monstrous beasts, then I think they'd be okay for 40 points. They could be okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 1 automatic strength 4 hit than D3 that hit on a 4+ that I can't improve in any way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because most of the time I'm only going to get 2, and I'm probably only going to get 1 anyway.
Yeah.
And if I have a bad day on my dice, I'm going to get like less than
you
a
might
hit a
get
man.
none. Yeah.
I mean, in the current state, I just keep it as D3 strength 4 automatic hits. Keep them as always to give them the D3 strength 4 automatic hits. That's
I
why.
could let that go as well. I mean, it's hardly because it's only strength
They're
4.
not-
it's-
And it
They're
doesn't
not-
ignore armor or anything.
They're not breaking the meta. They're not
No.
doing anything.
No.
The Sky Sharks of Tzeentch.
But they are
The
close.
Swoopers.
The shrieking sky rays,
I still think my Lamprey Manta was one that should have been in there.
the leech manta.
The Leech Manta, that was it. Yeah.
But anyway, when I've used them in the past, I found they have quite good synergy with a certain character, which holds up this entire faction.
Yeah,
as
Sub
it is.
faction.
Yeah.
We'll get to him later, but I like these guys, but they need help.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So then we're going to move into our final flanker, which will be the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch with the Demon Bone Claw.
Yep. Flicks through book.
Yeah, go right to the back of it, and we've spoke about this guy so many times right now. I think we all know what's good and bad about him. But we'll go through
the
him again.
guys at home might not know.
Yes, we have to go
Because
through him
they might
again.
have not watched the other deep dive.
So he is probably not the only combat monster you're going to want to take in an army, unless you take a Lord of Change.
Yeah, he's basically the only thing, especially outside your characters, he's the only thing you want in combat
Yeah.
in a Tzeentch army.
Yeah.
Scream of Tzeentch, because they can only do
Well,
the damage in combat. Realistically.
Yeah, okay.
So if Scott wants to go through the mountain of rules he kind of has.
Sure. So he is a large target, equals his terror. Always
Nice.
funky. He has to be a demon of Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Nesh. Obviously, for this one, we're assuming he is Tzeentch.
Yep, so he rolls with ward saves of 1.
He does. He has the Caught by the Iron Claw. So immediately before the Soul Grinder makes its attacks, you nominate one model in base contact with the Soul Grinder. That model must pass an initiative test. If the test is passed, nothing happens. If the test is failed, all other attacks the Soul Grinder makes against that model this turn hit automatically. He's got Implacable Advance. The model can move but not march and still shoot any of its weapons. And he's got Natural Armor 4+. He's got a 4+ armor save.
Comes with a Harvester Cannon, which is a Grape Shot, which you can use if you really want to.
Yeah.
We wouldn't.
Yeah, don't, because if you roll a misfire, he just takes a wound with no saves.
And we've
And
given
he's not marching then,
no.
which
Yeah.
is blocking stuff off to getting into your Tzeentch back line.
Yeah.
And we've given him the Demon Bone Claw, which is like an addition onto the Caught by the Iron Claw.
Yeah, sort of. So a Soul Grinder with this upgrade can exchange all of its attacks for a single special attack. This is declared after the Caught by the Iron Claw rule is
Important.
resolved. This attack is resolved at strength 10 and has the multiple wounds D6 special rule.
So if they fail, they're caught in the Iron Claw. They'll
You
take
go,
an
I'll
automatic
go Demon Bone
strength
Claw.
10.
Yeah.
But even if
You got points D6. Very
you
scary.
could do the Caught by the Iron Claw and then decide, I don't want to do Demon Bone Claw,
No,
I still want
yeah.
to wail on you.
I was want to wail on you with 4 strength 6 attacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's that line we haven't covered. His weapon skill 3, a little bit disappointing. His
Yeah.
shift 3 is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But movement 8,
Yeah.
really good. Strength 6, toughness 7. This
Yeah,
boy is hard
very
to
tough.
kill.
6 wounds.
6 wounds. That 6th one is really big.
Yeah.
The 4 palm save, 5 rerolling 1s, ward save.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's tough to shift.
He's going to be hard.
And it's natural armour, so if you can get some Laura Metal in your list, which you can very
Very
easily
easily.
with Tzeentch,
Because Tzeentch is all
give him
about
12
metal.
armour save.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, stack that up with your scaly
Glitter
skin.
and- glitter
Again,
and
was it like
rose.
only one of 2 models in the game that has natural armour?
Frost Arts have got it, haven't they?
Frost art on this, I think.
So 3. The Stonehorn.
Stonehorn's got it. Yeah.
Stonehorn, yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, they are pretty good. He's tough. Brought me a
Yeah.
little bit down by the weapon skill, but to be honest, in a Demon of Tzeentch army, you don't care about the weapon skill because
Did,
Yeah,
did we
you just
say
need
his
something to not
actual
die.
rating score? I don't think we did.
Did we not?
No,
we
you
didn't.
didn't, mate.
No, I didn't. His rating was 18 out of 24.
So good.
4 for strength of attacks, 4 for the number of attacks, 3 for special rules, 1 for maneuverability, 4 for survivability, and 2 for cost. He's 270 points.
Is that 18?
18? 4, 8, 11, 12, 16, 18, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know maths.
He was 19 in one of the others.
Yeah,
I'm
Nurgle.
not sure why.
Yeah, special rules.
Oh.
His
No.
special rules
Oh, yeah.
in Nurgle, because the reroll ones on his ward save is good, but it's not a
Yeah,
particularly
he got the same
nasty
in
combo.
Slanesh as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ankle.
Ankle.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just. Yeah, it's
Just-
not a nasty combo,
No,
is it? It's not
not really.
tearing through the extra point of armour
Not
or,
really.
or getting strength 7.
Yeah, or just not being hit.
But arguably though, he's probably his most important in this army. I think he has better synergy
Yeah.
with Slanesh, and he has good synergy in the Nurgle with the shooting variant. But I think from a must-have point of view, this is your kill power, guys.
Yes.
This is your choppy, fighty kill power that you're
Outside
gonna
of
struggle
magic,
to get
this is the guy
elsewhere.
that's going to be doing the damage for you.
Yeah, are you a bit hot, Matt?
I am very
It's
hot.
very hot. Yeah,
It's
it's
very warm.
very hot in the studio today.
I do
guys.
apologise, and plus I'm not sitting next to my usual window.
No, but you're wafting me, which I'm very happy about.
Scott seems to be just,
I'm
dealing
fine.
just perfectly fine with
Yeah,
this.
I'm right.
Should we crack on?
Yeah, let's crack 'em. That's it for flankers.
Yep.
On to shooting units now.
Now,
Burning.
burning, yeah.
Yeah.
Burning through the categories. You love to see it.
Only going to range units now. We
Fantastic.
have Flamers of Tzeentch, Burning Chariots of Tzeentch. James looking forward to that one. And the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch with either its Baleful Torrent, Phlegm Bombardment, or Warp Gaze, which everyone loves to listen to our description.
I've only got to listen to it one more time.
Yeah. So Flames of Tzeentch first, and they come in with a competitive rating of 11 out of 24.
Oh, they are trash.
They were so good in the
They
previous
were
book.
they were so good.
They were bent in the previous book.
They
Yeah.
were very well. What do you mean by that? What, like, as in, like, not down the straight and narrow? As in morally reprehensible.
As in, too good.
Yeah, they were strong.
So in this
They weren't too good. They were strong.
in this edition though, they have a 2 for threat range, 2 for strength for shot, 2 for accuracy, 1 for versatility, 3 for survivability, and 1 for cost. Right, this is it. Our first encounter with Warp Flame. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't wait.
Shall I read the what it does? What
Yeah,
Warframe
if
does?
you-
So they have this on their shooting and their combat
They actually have
attacks.
it on their profile as well. They have to
Yeah.
in combat. It's so bad.
Oh, that is so good. I didn't know they had it in combat.
Not until I was doing this that I realised they had it on their
Oh,
profile.
they still were.
Brilliant. Anyway,
Oh. At the end of each phase, any unit that suffered 1 or more unsaved wounds from an attack with this special rule, or from an attack made by a model with this special rule, during that phase must take a toughness test. If the test is failed, the unit immediately suffers D3 wounds with no armor saves allowed. If the test is passed, all models in the unit gain regeneration 6+.
Bad.
For the rest of the game,
yeah.
any
bad.
models in the unit that already have the regeneration special rule instead gain +1 to all regeneration saving throws for the rest of the game. Chaos is fickle.
So you
He said
can.
it and I was like,
Genuinely says
So
that.
you can
Chaos is
basically
fickle.
up. The thing that I don't get is why does it not take any regen?
It's not flaming.
it's
Yeah,
not
but
flaming.
why not just say if they fail the toughness test, if they've got regeneration, they lose it. But if they
Yeah.
don't have it, they gain it. At least then it would be like interesting. They could like
Yeah.
give F and take F away. All they do is basically make
Just
you
giveth.
just give F you regen, and if
Just
you, once
give
you've passed 2,
No
you probably
take it.
don't care about the additional D3
No.
wounds anymore because you'll probably regen them off.
Yeah.
I think the biggest gripe people have with this rule is the fact that it's Warp Flame and it's not
isn't
flaming. I think because I'm going back to lore-wise, I think they're going, oh, the flames of chaos are like, could be cool or could they be icy? But it's flames.
Well, they make me grow limbs apparently.
Apparently so. But yet, that's Warp Flame.
It's a shocking special rule.
It's a really bad special
And
rule.
it's going to come up again.
It comes
Sorry.
up a lot.
It does come up a lot. Entire lore of magic. Right, so their range is not particularly good. They have a 24-inch move. They have 24-inch threat
They
range.
don't have a 24-inch move.
No,
They move 6 and their Flames of Tzeentch are 18-inch range.
But the guns, they,
So look, it's more than that. They're skirmish. Or are they not skirmish?
They are skirmish.
They are skirmish. Sorry,
So
they move 12
Yeah, so
and shoot
they've
18.
got
Okay.
30-inch.
Yeah.
Right. She's helpful.
but they take all the shooting negatives. They don't ignore the multiple. They used to like ignore
They
pretty much
used to
everything.
ignore quite a few of them.
So that they take the multiple shots. They take the long range. They take the moving.
Yeah, they are multiple shots D6 as well, as worth saying. They're strength 4 multiple shots D6 with Warp Flame, obviously.
Yeah.
They are ballistic skill 4. The unit champion's ballistic skill 5.
Weapon skill 2.
Yeah, weapon skill 2. Don't get them in combat.
Well, 2 wounds
What's their
speed
strength now?
4.
In the previous book, they were strength 5. So you'd be like, their weapons skill 2, but they do hit like a ton of bricks if you fight them.
We come back to your pile of bricks of smashing these models
Yeah.
apart, aren't you?
Um,
Honestly, just
It's just that
It's frustrating.
Honestly, it's just the negative modifiers that they
Yeah.
suffer for shooting. They're actually really good. Their shooting is good. They're basically lead belchers
they are.
shooting wise.
Short-
Yeah, they're
shorter
not
range.
piercing, but
But
yeah.
but their strength, but they can march and fire,
Yep.
which is cool. And then you get hit with the Warp Flame and the fact they take 10,000 modifiers to hit.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason Lead Belcher's good, is because they ignore a lot of the
Yeah, they
modifiers.
pretty much ignore everything apart from long range.
The modifiers are,
Yeah.
Long range and cover.
the modifiers are crippling. Even if someone's in a field against these guys, if they're more than 9 or if they start the turn
More than 21
more than
inches away.
21 inches away, they are -3 to the hit roll.
So 6 is to hit.
If they start
No. If they start the turn more than 19 inches away. Or
9
more than
inch short
18.
range, 12-inch march, so 21.
Oh, short
You're
range
right.
you're on about. Yeah,
But you move. But even if they're within that, they're still -2 to hit. They only
Yeah.
get on a 3 normally.
Yeah.
We haven't got any cover modifiers in
Yeah.
there yet.
And
And then it's a random number of shots. Oh, and
Yep.
you gave him a regen. Nice.
is
I
that,
played a guy who didn't have these, had the spells that do it.
Yeah.
Shot my Cryptoras turn 1 with 2 spells and
You had a threat
that
regen for the rest of
regen
the
for the rest of the game.
game? Yeah.
why would you do that? Why would you do that?
They're tough as
That's
fuck.
the thing, you can't take the risk and shoot like a monster or something that's tough.
No.
Because if you do a wound, it will probably pass its toughness test and you'll just give it regen.
Imagine shooting a help abomination with this.
Yeah, never. Just never shoot a hell pit with anything with Warp Flame. I'm not sure how you're going to kill it, maybe a Soul Grinder. But
Magic.
don't
Magic.
Just magic.
Or
magic that's
something.
not Lore of Tzeentch.
Which
yeah.
is rough because it's got no armor.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't metal it.
No,
You
it's,
can final transit. Turn into a massive gold statue.
Yep.
Well, if you roll a big 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes all the scathing around it.
And plus, with Tzeentch, there's actually no spells to increase Blister skill that I can think of.
No.
Plus 1 to hit on
Plus
a
1 to
piercing
hit
from the
you
law
can
of
do,
metal is the only thing I would.
Which actually is pretty good on them because it gives you armor piercing as well.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Tzeentch though.
It helps. There's nothing in Tzeentch.
Tzeentch is all direct damage and magic missiles.
Yeah.
So.
There's a hex.
Oh, a hex, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, not great. We'll have to
No.
move on.
They skirmish 2 wounds, can be a pain to remove though.
Yeah, 2 wounds helps.
Yeah. They are very expensive though. They are the same points as Screamer, so 40 points a model.
Too many.
Too many points. So we're going to move on. Do you want to move on? Because this is our next unit. Do you really want to go in there?
Well,
Do you really want to go down that rabbit
the
hole?
previous unit are too many points. Let's see how this one is.
So we next have the
Spoilers, too many points.
Burning Chariots of Tzeentch, and they come with a competitive rating of 11 out of 24.
Well, no worse than the last one.
No,
The Fire Gliders, the Blazing Skystriders, the Warp Flame Reavers.
the 5.
This was a new model as well, so I'm always disappointed when it has rubbish rules in its
I-
new model.
I-
Did you not want to sell it?
I like the
Yeah.
model as well. I do quite like the model.
I do like the model.
Yeah,
actually.
it's not bad.
It's quite cool.
So the Burning Chariot, it has 1 for threat range, 3 for strength for shots, 2 for accuracy, 1 for versatility, 3 for survivability, and 1 for cost. We base the accuracy and strength on the blue fire variants of its shooting. So it has 2 shoot and attack profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And that was just because of the
That gave it a
two.
better score.
Yeah.
Of the two, I'd probably shoot the blue fire like 89% of the
Yeah.
time.
I like that very specific
Yeah.
number, 89.
I was going to say 85, and then I was like, maybe 90, and then I just sort of said 89.
You're thinking of a 2+, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll roll a 1, I'll shoot pink fire.
83% of the time, if you shot it 5 turns out of 6. There you go.
But it has the Exalted Fire of Tzeentch, so the Exalted Flamer on top basically
Yeah, so
fires
it's
it.
the flamer that shoots, which
Yeah.
is sort of the guy riding it, not the chariot
And we know the
itself.
quality of flamers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So during the shooting phase, the flamer can shoot either pink fire or blue fire. This can be done even if the burning chariot moved in the preceding movement phase. Pink fire uses the rules for fire throwers, got off to a good start. Blue fire uses the rules for grape shot. Again,
Better stuff.
fantastic start. Pink fire is strength D6, slow to fire, warp flame. Blue fire is range 12, D6 plus 3 strength, slow to fire, warp flame. If a misfire is rolled when resolving pink or blue fire, the burning chariot suffers D6 strength D6 hits with the warp flame special rule. Armor saves cannot be taken against wounds caused by these hits.
His arm save of
If it
0.
Yeah, it doesn't have an armor save.
Misfires enough, it can get itself a better regen
Yeah.
than ward save.
Yeah.
Look, the problem is with it is always going to be the same. Everything about this is random. It's
Yeah.
super random, and even when you get a really good run out, your opponent could pass a toughness test and get some regen out of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
It's
really-
legendarily bad.
Yeah, it's just so difficult to like, I want to be positive, I do. What's its combat stats like?
It's strength 4. It's got 2 screamers, so it's got 6 strength 4 attacks.
They don't have the
Um,
Lamprey's Bite.
Do they not?
There's no Lamprey's Bite on there.
No.
Hilarious. And the Exalted Flamer itself has got 3 weapon skill 4, strength 4 attacks.
Well, this is weapon skill 4.
It
kicks
has
out a
what
bit
the
there.
Exalted Flamer has. Warp Flame in combat.
Is
It
it
does.
is it scythed?
No, please.
No.
Okay.
Come on.
How many points is it?
170.
Yeah. Like, that sort of level of...
You can't stand and shoot with
ridiculousness.
it.
No, you can't
Nope.
shoot. It has fly, but you can only move 10 inches.
Because chariot.
Oh, well, 150.
Oh,
So
170.
170 if you take the Blue Horror Crew. Spoilers, don't.
The Blue Horror Crew, if you're in 6 inches of it, you suffer -1 to your leadership.
Yeah.
At least that's a use for it.
You can pay 170 points for -1 leadership.
Well, no. What do I mean to say?
Oh, sorry. It is scythed.
I thought it was. It's got little
sorry.
spikes in the side.
Sorry, it is scythed.
But luckily it's only strength 4.
Yeah, it is only
Yeah.
strength 4.
It's just another one of these comedy of what does it want to be? But when we talked about like if you put a hero on a flame spot, a phoenix, you're like, you want to be in combat. The
Yeah.
phoenix wants to be nowhere near combat. What are you meant to be? And what is it meant to be?
I think it's meant to
A
be
waste of
I
170
think
points.
what I think they wanted to do, you basically move up 10 inches, shoot it, and then you charge it.
But you move up 10 inches and you miss
Shoot,
because
miss.
it's BS rubbish.
Yeah.
Or you shoot the fire thrower. That's wonderful, and then it gets charged. It's slow to fire and it dies.
That Exalted Flamer, he should be Ballistic Skill 5.
Yes.
Yes.
He should be at least, if not 6, he should be at least a Flamer unit champion. Ballistic
Yes.
Skill.
Yes.
But he is not. He is a Flamer Ballistic Skill.
No.
But Ballistic Skill 6,
He's a big
Not as
flamer.
bad.
He's been on the Monster Energy drink and a Red Bull. And he's jumped on a chariot thinking he's the big I am.
He's sat in the little grow bag. Golden nutrients from the soil.
Yeah. He's
Thinks
passed
he's
his
big
toughness test.
Yeah.
Regen some extra limbs, got big. And
He's a little flamer that could.
look, honestly, I really want to be positive, and I try really hard when we do these to come up with tactical uses for this. I just don't see it.
In
I
the
don't.
cabinet, it's a nice
I
model.
don't see what I could do with it on the tabletop that would bring me anything.
Paint it really nicely. That's what you could do with it.
And put it in a cabinet.
Bring me some joy. Yeah. Yeah,
Shall
it's
we
a nice
move on?
model. Let's move on.
So James doesn't just have an aneurysm. And then we have the Soul Grinder with Baleful Torrent, Flame Bombardment, and Warp Gauge.
Well, here comes the aneurysm.
Are we ready for
Back
that?
for this.
Yeah.
Right, shall I do it? I'm doing it the way you did it previously.
A
No, this is
sensible
gonna
way.
go-
No, I'm doing my way then.
Oh, don't do that. Please do it my way. I beg of you.
So the Soul Grinder Baleful Torrent gets a 14 out of 24. The one with Flame Bombardment gets 18 out of 24, and the Warp Gaze one gets 14 out of 24. So it has 3 separate choices in shooting attacks you can buy.
Yes.
All of them are too expensive for it.
Yes. So Baleful
It's
Torrent.
expensive.
And
Is...
I need to just go through the scores.
Oh yeah.
I need to go break down scores. So, where am I? The Baleful Torrent gets a 3 for threat range, 2 for strength for shots, 3 for accuracy, 1 for versatility, 4 for survivability, and 1 for cost. Survivability and cost are not going to change, so I'm not going to mention them again.
That's 4 and 1.
4 and 1, respectively.
Not 4 for cost.
No. Flame Bombardment is 8. We all said 18. It's 4 for threat range, 4 for strength for shots, 2 for accuracy, 3 for versatility, and the Warp Gauge gets 3 for threat range, 3 for strength for shots, 1 for accuracy, 2 for versatility, and the 4 and the 1.
Yeah. So the Baleful Torrent is a fire thrower.
So strength 5 flaming hits.
Strength 4.
Strength 5.
Is it strength 4? Is it strength 5?
Standard rulebook one.
Is it
Strength
strength
5,
five?
and it is a standard rulebook one.
Okay.
So you place the flamer template and then roll an artillery dice. That's how fire moves forward.
Yeah.
That's what it
in,
is.
in base contact with the Soul Grinder.
Yeah. If the miss and the same for the Flame Bombardment, it rolls a artillery dice as well. And if you roll a misfire on either of them, you take a wound. With no saves. The Flame Bombardment is a stone thrower.
Mm-hmm.
The best of the lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why you've got 18.
That is also 50 points. And the Warp Gaze is 55 points. So, should be good. Yeah, it's a bolt thrower. Ballistic skill, a 3.
With a trash ballistic skill.
Yeah.
I do think you can make this work because
Yes.
I think Tzeentch are probably employed best as a defensive
Yes.
army where they want to sort of sit at the back and blast with spells and maybe having a couple of these with the stone thrower upgrade, the
100%,
flame bombardment,
yeah.
chucking stuff over and then use them as counter punch.
Yeah.
I think that could work for you.
I think
Definitely
if you're
I'd go
taking-
with a stone thrower.
If you're taking,
Don't go with either.
yeah, if you're taking any shooting attacks, go take the Stone Thrower.
Yes.
That's the only one you'll take.
And I know that you're going to miss out on your flaming chariot, burning chariots if you take these.
Oh,
but,
no.
I think
Oh,
I
no.
think overall the stone thrower will be a better choice.
You know, actually win
Yes.
something, and
Yeah,
not give
and
not give it regen.
Not give it regen. Imagine if all your units were Daemons of Tzeentch, they just had to have the Warp Flame rule. Just make Tzeentch untakeable.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because it's tearing up the meta right now.
I might do when I start bringing out the big boys.
Do you know what, mate? Yeah, let's do it. I'm all for it.
So as we said, it has a half cannon. Don't use it. Just shoot one of the other guns if you're going to take a gun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great
it can't
shot.
march and shoot, but it can move and shoot, which does
Yeah.
mean that you can kind of try to shepherd enemies away from your back line with it by
Yeah.
just sort of slowly advancing it and firing. So it could
Yeah.
work. Could work in this list.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, not a
Yeah.
lot more to say about the Soul
No.
Grinder, really.
And then we're going on to Tzeentch's Chaff, and there are 2. That being Screamers of Tzeentch again and Chaos Furies of Tzeentch. So the Screamers coming in with a competitive rating of 17 out of 24.
Not bad.
But yeah, they're going to be better at this. What's the minimum unit size?
3.
3.
That's the real shame.
Yeah.
So they get a 4 for maneuverability, 3 for number of attacks, 3 for special rules, 3 for slots, 3 for survivability, and 1 for cost. And not a place I would place them exclusively, but they
No.
can work it.
I think how I would use them to hunt down war machines early doors.
Yep.
And then I would sort of come in and maybe charge some like lone characters
Yeah.
or then just get in the way.
I think they do that part of the role better than they're getting in the way. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't want to spend 120 points to just get
lose
in the
them.
way.
No.
I mean, they fall into...
I wouldn't mind losing them if I'd killed a cannon or like an artillery
That's
piece.
it. Once you've got some points
Yeah.
for them, they're going to wreck other people's chaff as well
Yes,
because
they
they've
should
got
do.
3 strength 4 attacks each.
I think they work...
And they can swipe actually on the way. Can
Yeah.
they do the swipe when they march?
Yeah.
So they can swipe some chaff on the way to a
Yep.
war machine. That's definitely a good use for them.
Yeah.
I think they fall into that sort of group of model that does a bit of both in terms of
Yeah.
flanking and
Yeah,
and
100%.
chaffing at that point in time. They are pricey for it though.
They are. That's the one thing that really lets them down in that
40,
sort of role.
40 points for that
But
sort of role.
once you've got something out of them, like an artillery piece or maybe like a lone character, which you can fly over him and do the hits on him.
Or even a bit of chaff, 90
Or
points,
another bit of
100
chaff,
points.
yeah.
But I said fly does help a lot with them. But
Yeah, massively.
basically, they have all the special rules from the flanking roll, their Lamprey's Bite, if you really want to go that way around. But that's about it.
They're much better in this role. Unfortunately, you're going to think about them in the flanking role because there's a lot less that can do that in your book. Well,
Yes.
Yeah, you are. And then we're going to our last chaff unit, which is the Chaos Furies of Tzeentch. With
The Crows of Chaos. Sorry.
We didn't say Clinker Spawn.
No, I was hoping to get through it without saying Clinker Spawn, I'll be honest.
Cyber is also known as Clinker Spawn. There we go.
Actually yawned. I actually
Is that the heat? Is that the heat or just the fog?
I yawned for
From
real.
Clinker
I'm
Spawn.
so sorry. I yawned for real. I did cover my mouth.
So, Chaos Furies get a competitive rating of 16 out of 24, 4 for maneuverability, 1 for number of attacks, 3 for special rules, 3 for slots, 2 for survivability, and 2 for cost. The fastest non-character unit we have? Yes, it is.
Yes.
No, it's the same speed as a lot of things as the Screamers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's joint fastest. You're not getting anything faster than stuff that flies.
No, but Fly is a good rule on Chaff unit though.
It is.
They do compete heavily with the older Screamers for the Chaff slots.
They do, and I think in Chaff they win out because they're a lot cheaper.
There are
Just over half the point.
80 points cheaper, yeah.
I reckon I'd.
No, they're not.
No, 70 point. No,
Yeah,
50
Oh,
points cheaper.
yeah.
I reckon I'd have both. I'd probably have.
Yeah, I'd have both.
If I was going to use them in the chaff roll, I'd have maybe 2 units of these and a
And then
unit of
it's
Screamers.
like 6 Screamers.
Yeah, or 2 units of 3 maybe.
Yeah.
And then send them over like for war machines and stuff, and then use these as my sacrificial.
Yeah.
chaff.
These can do the whole war machine hunting as well.
The Demons of Tzeentch rule
But I
doesn't
think Screamers do
particularly
it better.
give them much.
No, reroll ones on ward saves and 1 wound, toughness 3 guys that are probably going to be a unit of 5.
It's probably the
Might
worst.
save you 1 extra one if you're lucky.
Probably the worst of the 4 for Furies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not great, is it?
No.
Yeah, I would agree.
But as I said, they do have fly. They're pretty much they're a lot cheaper than Screamers are. You need to give them by your general because you have the choice to give the demon of any sort of god. We'd recommend you do it.
Yeah.
Do not take them without an alignment. You can take them with no demonic alignment. Please, please don't do it.
Don't make them Demons of Tzeentch. Just do it. Just so they have leadership 9 from the general.
The unit is
Yeah.
only 70 points with Demons of Tzeentch, and they can
Yes.
use your general's inspiring presence.
Rather
And
than be leadership 2.
It's 18 inches because you took a Lord of Change / Kairos.
Yes.
So it's worth having. Please do this.
Slash Demon Prince. He's a large target in here, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, well, but you're not going to actually take him, right? Are you not suffering enough?
From taking Tzeentch.
Are you not entertained?
um,
But that's it for Furies. If anyone else has anything to say about
No,
them.
I don't think so.
I-
They're very solid.
I think we all like Furies.
yeah, we like
Yeah.
them.
But that's it for units. Very quick.
Is that really it?
That's it. That's all,
Wow.
that's all for units.
Wow.
James is happy. We can move on to some good units now. The characters.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, there's some good stuff.
Until
in
we
there.
get into the Lord slot, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely-
As in, like, or sort of once we get into the Lord slot, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel we're going to start there. I feel we're going to start high.
We're gonna start high. Oh, do you want to start low?
No, please give me something.
I'll bring you up. I'll raise you up.
I think I'm
All
ready
right,
for
we're
it.
young.
Let's.
Anyway, we're gonna move
that was
into-
Westlife, mate.
Wasn't more I'm just saying, wasn't more young part of Westlife?
Were you just about to say Will I Am? No,
Yeah.
Will Young was not in Westlife, and neither was Will I Am. The musical knowledge of this panel is appalling.
Generic and special characters next. So you stuck with us through the minefield that was Demons of Tzeentch's per army units. So we're now going to go into the characters, and as we said at the beginning, we are going to be going through not just special characters, but also the generic characters as well.
We are indeed.
So which includes your Lord of Changes, your Heralds of Tzeentch, and the Exalted Flamers of Tzeentch, as per the Demons FAQ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, you've got all the generics. The others are special characters.
they're all special characters.
Tzeentch got a lot of special characters.
3.
Yeah.
More than any of the other gods.
No, Corner's 3.
The same as one of the other gods.
Thrice the Sanesh count.
Anyway, so we're going to start off with the Lord of Change, who comes with a competitive rating of 19 out of 24.
He is very good.
Yes, so he gets a 3 for outputs, 4 for special rules, 4 for synergy, 2 for risk, 4 for survivability, and 2 for cost. In my opinion, I think he's the most competitive.
Yeah, I
No,
know you do.
you guys think it's the Keeper of Secret, which I do see your arguments for the Keeper.
Well, mine is basically based on the fact that he gets a 20 and yours only gets a 19.
Yeah, there is that.
So, and 20 is bigger than 19, right?
Well, there is just absolutely no reason that I can see why this guy should be Initiative 6.
Yeah.
Why
to be honest,
is he Initiative 6?
this guy.
Show me a slow bird. He's a big parakeet. That's why.
The Frostart Phoenix. That's a slight bird.
Chickens are not that quick.
The
Oh,
Frostart
they
Phoenix, he's basically half frozen.
Yeah.
So
He was only taken out of the freezer.
He's
a
a
couple of hours
frozen
ago.
dinner, and he's still as fast as a man of the Empire.
I mean, have you ever tried to catch chicken? They are quick.
If you chop their heads off, they still keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, this guy's stat line is insane.
Yeah,
for what
he's
he
very
is.
good.
It's just 6s everywhere, basically.
Well, movement 8, but he has fly, so who cares about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, even then, that's really good. You just get storm bannered, and he's just like, and he's just running around like he's an emu at that point. He's an emu.
Weapon skill 6, which is maddening. Ballistic skill 6,
Which doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. Strength toughness 6, 5 wounds. Initiative 6, 5 attacks. Leadership 9.
Madness.
Great
really
stuff.
good. He starts as a level 2 as well, which is actually quite big
That
against
is
the
big,
other
actually.
great demons. So
Yeah.
he
You only
only
have to pay 70 points.
rather than the 105.
Yeah, to make him level 4. Very good.
So then he has the options for either the Law of Tzeentch, don't, and the Law of Metal, do.
Yes.
I've just got the only option for either Law of Tzeentch, Law of Metal, so you're going to be taking the Law of Metal.
You need the
Yeah.
unit killer. You need
Yeah.
final transmutation because we've just seen the army struggling to deliver damage. You need to be able to really strip chunks off units. You need the Searing Doom for armour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need like the +1 to hit from the Enchanted Blades. Plague of Rust really does help out a lot as well.
All the
Yeah,
spells
all
are pretty
those
good
spells.
for your army.
There's a really good gift for him, which we'll talk about later on in the video.
We will.
Which actually ups his rating. I've just realised.
Yeah,
if you
will
roll,
do, if you roll it.
if
The
you
yeah.
gift
roll
has
enough,
the
yeah.
power to actually up his rating. That's
They'll give him a
incredible.
20 because the output. It's only the output that'd be affected by 1.
Yeah, because it can only max
Yeah.
out
Yeah, it makes it 4. Yeah, so
He's
he's
up at 3.
Yeah, he starts at 3. Yeah.
yeah, he was beat stick.
Yeah, and it's worth
6.
saying for the generic characters, with
Oh.
your output, we're comparing their stats against the sort of average for a lord or a hero. So for the Lord of Change, we're comparing him to 5 attacks at strength, 4 attacks at strength 5.
Yeah.
And then for the hero, for the Herald, we're comparing him against an average hero, which is 3 attacks at strength 4.
Yes. So the Lord of Change is really, really good. I think he's really good. He has a nice new model.
Does
Very-
have a nice
very
model.
nice.
Well, he doesn't fit onto a smaller base.
No, he has to go
No,
on a
he's on
chariot,
a chariot
base,
base.
which is upsetting. But
Yeah.
you live and you learn, I suppose. Live, laugh, love, and all that sort
He
of
is
jazz.
still pretty tough though. He's still pretty hard
Toughness
to get
6 with 5 wounds and a firewall, so reroll
Rerolling
ones.
rerolls ones to his channels. Because he's
Yeah.
a demon of Tzeentch.
Tzeentch. Yeah, these are all good stuff. And Terror and Fly. Fly and Terror.
through. Fly
Yeah,
and Terror, the
particularly good
magical
combo.
combination of
Yeah.
Fly and Terror, which we love on this channel.
He
We
calls
do
it Terror
indeed.
because have you ever been chased by an emu or a turkey?
No, I can't say I have, mate.
Terrifying. Absolutely.
Okay.
I have been chased by a turkey, and
Obviously.
it's terrifying.
A turkey.
They're big. They're big.
Yeah, but they're not 6 foot tall, are
They're
they?
not man-sized,
Yeah.
are they?
No, but emus are, and I've been chased by one
It's
of
just
those
like
as
a
well.
big rugby ball chasing you.
I mean, I imagine an
Very rugby
emu
ball.
would be pretty
That's
terrifying.
different. He's
Yeah.
bigger than you.
Yeah.
He's bigger than you. He's a head taller than you, at
And
least.
can run at like 40 miles
And then
an
he looks
hour.
at you like a sort of angry swan, doesn't he? And he's like, and I'm like, whoa! And that emu doesn't cast spells, so I would definitely be more
Yeah.
scared of this guy.
One of these days, I want to see
And
some.
this guy flies as
He
well.
does.
That emu doesn't fly.
No, he doesn't.
One of
Could you
these days, I do want to see.
A horror.
I want to see someone paint one of the Lord Changes up to yellow.
Well, like Big,
Big
Bird.
Bird, yeah.
Well, there's your challenge right there.
Oh, I do it yellow. That's a nightmare.
There's a yellow
There's
contrast.
the yellow
Yeah,
contrast.
that's a nightmare colour to paint.
No, Nazarick yellow's nice.
Nah,
There's other yellow contrasts are available.
Nazarick yellow's good yellow.
I'm good. Anyway, so that's all changed. Very good cost. If you take the gift, we're going to talk about in a second. His cost goes up. Or his value goes up.
Yeah.
Yep. And I said even as a caster, he's baller in combat.
He is, yeah.
You don't want to mess with the chicken.
You don't.
No, he's a
and
real fighter.
on a side point, if you want to see Max paint his Lord of Change as Big Bird, send us emails, messages, everything. We will make sure they go directly to him.
Yeah, we're not monsters. We'll
no,
share.
we will share.
Send handwritten notes through and through windows with rocks attached to them.
Whoa. We're not inciting violence, just, some peer pressure.
No,
you
sign
peer pressure.
violence just so you have to paint your turkey yellow. You want to do it anyway, so
Yeah.
just do it.
I don't want to do it.
You do, though. You brought it up.
You did. Yeah.
Moving on to the Demon Prince, the Demon Prince of Daemons of Chaos. With Armour and Flight, who comes with competitive rating of 13 out of 24. This is a score without him being a wizard. To be honest, I would make him a wizard if I was Tzeentch, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but we'll explain why that's a
Yeah.
bad choice in a minute.
Okay. Good stuff.
We love you. It's not a bad thing with you. It's the
So he
book's
gets
fault.
3 for output, 3 for special rules, 1 for synergy, 1 for risk, 4 for survivability, and 1 for cost. Yeah.
I think
4 times I've had to go through this, guys.
His risk and his synergy will go. His risk
His-
could change, but his synergy would definitely go up if you make him a wizard.
Yeah.
So let's explore the points cost of him
Here we
when
go.
he's got his armour and wizard levels.
Yeah.
Scott, would you like to share with the group?
So he's 250 points basic.
Excellent.
Mhm.
With armour and flight, he's 310.
Okay.
With Demon of Tzeentch, he's 320.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ooh.
And
10
some wizard
points.
levels on there.
Some wizard levels, they're 35 points each. So
Ooh.
if you go for all 4, he's 460 points.
60
Okay.
points more than a great than Lord of Change.
And a lot of change. He comes at level 2. But he has
That's
only level 2
mad.
though. He's only level 2 though.
Yeah.
That's mad, 10 points. You make your Lord of Change a level 4 wizard, and you spent 10 more points than the Demon Prince.
Oh, okay, interesting. Let's see what the differences there are.
You,
Now-
the
now
Demon
to-
Prince has a 4+ armour save.
He does.
Yeah.
And actually this time he's got a better weapon skill.
He does
He
a
does.
better stat line for combat for it.
And
2 points more initiative.
yeah, 6 is probably enough, though, to be fair.
so yeah.
He's got 1 less wound, and he's got 1 less toughness.
So
and one
would,
less ballistic
would
skill.
I trade 2 points of initiative and a couple points of weapon skill for a wound and a toughness? Would I trade
And a
that?
4-up armour save.
And the 4 bombs.
Oh, yeah, I'd trade that all day long.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A wound and a wound and a toughness. That's 70 points.
Yeah.
Of value.
I think the Lord of Change is
Madness.
infinitely better than the Demon Prince in the Arena of
Yes.
Magic because
Yes,
he's
he is.
cheaper. And he has more points with demonic gifts as well.
He does, he has up to 100, whereas the Demon Prince has only got 75.
Which means you can get the good ones that you want off of, like, you can
You can
you've
go
got
double greater if you
twice
want,
the chance of getting a really
Yeah.
good
or
one.
you go double lesser in a greater, which
Yeah.
is what you do.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like the double less from the greater for him.
Yeah.
Overall,
that's
Demon
madness.
Prince, like, again, in combat he still is a Demon Prince, but he has unstable. So
Yeah.
you can just beat him in combat res.
The issue is a Lord of Change is good enough in combat
It's-
already.
It's the wound. The thing is, he's not significantly better than a Lord of
No,
Change.
he's not a Bloodthirster. Not
Yeah.
a keeper.
And when we look at the magic item and see what that does, we're going to see very quickly that starting from a slightly lower base,
And it is only ever so slightly.
Yeah.
he's actually not a bad thing.
Shall we move
No.
on from Demon Prince?
Yeah.
then?
I
I
think
just
so.
I just think if you tool him up to be really potent with spells, you might as well take a Lord
Lord of Change.
Lord of Change. It's
Yeah.
better. It's a better choice.
Right, so we have first of our generic heroes on foot, and that is the Herald of Tzeentch, who comes in with competitive rating of 14 out of 24. He gets a 0 for output. 0.
Yeah, he
Because he
does.
has a below average
He does.
stat line than the strength.
Yeah,
three
he has
attack, strength
two
4.
attack.
That's tough.
That's rough. 4 for special rules though, 2 for synergy, 4 for risk, 2 for survivability, and 2 for cost.
Yeah.
He starts at level 1 base. and he
Yeah,
can
which
go-
is big. For 90 points, you're already getting 1 wizard level in
Yeah,
that.
whereas the other Herald's going to be level 1 maximum, this guy can be level 2 maximum.
He can.
As per normal, he's either Law of Tzeentch or Law of Metal. Gets the rerolls of 1 for ward saves and channeling attempts.
Yeah.
90 points, you do get a fair amount for 90 points. For it.
His stat line's basically an Empire Battle Wizard, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Weapon skill 3, strength
Yeah.
3, toughness 3,
2 wounds.
2 wounds. Yeah.
Initiative 3, 2 attacks.
Leadership 7.
8.
He's
Oh.
a-
All the demons heroes, right?
Okay, so he's got a point of leadership over the Empire Battle Wizard and a
Yeah.
point of attack, and he's 35 points more.
Yep.
But he obviously also has a ward save.
5 at ward saves.
So yeah, he looks pretty good value as a wizard, doesn't
Because
he?
he's rerolling 1s on those ward saves and he's rerolling 1s on his channels.
Yeah, I like him. I think the problem is I need more choppy stuff for him to support, which I don't have. But I do think he's decent, and
Yeah.
I would. I know we're just talking to each other now. I'm not facing the camera enough, but I would also. I probably wouldn't level to him because I want the dice for my
You want
Yeah,
to
I
dice for
wouldn't.
your
for
bigger
my lord.
classes.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
but
bother either.
but I would think about.
Go on.
Yeah.
Was that
Locus?
the Loci?
No, I wouldn't think
No.
about the loci, but we will cover them.
Gift?
Yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't
I
think gifts.
wouldn't think
I was
about
just
gifts
trying to.
either.
I was trying to work out what
Yeah.
you were
Mount?
thinking of.
I would think about keeping him on Tzeentch, is what I was going to say.
Right, okay.
So he stands at the back,
We
and
get there in the end.
I'd keep him as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
He does have
That's
the
what
option
I
for
was gonna
mounts. He can go on a disc of
Mounts?
He's
Tzeentch.
so hot in
Or
here.
he is meltingly hot. Yeah, he can either go on a disc of Tzeentch, or he can go on a burning chariot of Tzeentch.
Yes, but you know that awesome ranged attack that the Burning Chariot has? Yeah, it loses that.
Lose that for
Because it's the flamer on the back that
For-
does it.
for
And
being
he
a
raises
chariot.
the flame.
I don't hate the disc here, though, guys.
No, I don't
No,
know.
I've got a disc model at home. A disc model at home is quite nice.
It's a lovely model.
Yeah, and I just think the fact that I can fly him around, keep him out of archetype all game, blast some spells at you.
Yeah,
I might even
don't
think
mind
about
this at all.
some of the locusts in that scenario. I might think differently rather than worrying about buffing my units, just giving him a locust and maybe stretching him to level 2. But I don't think I would. I think
it's a lot of points at that point.
I think I'd just keep him at level 1, nice and cheap. Maybe get him on a disc so I don't give away his points. That's the crucial element.
In terms of his locusts, then his locusts are weird. You never see Herald or Tzeentch. You never see the locusts themselves. I don't think anyone actually knows what they do.
But his lesser locus of transmogrification. When a model with a blue horror special rule in this model's unit is slain, plays D3+1 blue horror counters instead of 2. The Herald himself does not have the blue horror special rule. It is only pink horrors. So if he's flying around on a disc, don't bother.
Worthless.
And to be honest, a third of the time he does nothing more. How many points is that?
35, I think.
So averagely get 1 more strength 2 hit for each kill.
Yeah, or a 4+.
Yeah, man.
Got to roll for it to actually hit.
Yeah, man. Ooh.
25.
25
Yes,
points.
25 too many.
And the Greater Locus of Change?
The Greater Locus of Change. At the start of the turn, roll a d6. This model and all models in his unit have a strength value equal to the result until you roll again.
I mean,
that is 35 points.
That is good fun.
Suddenly you've got like 15 strength 6 pink horrors.
I was like, half the time you have a higher strength than you usually do.
Yeah, but of course there's always that turn where they're all strength 1 and they get dwellers.
Is this the beginning of the meta of the horde of pink horrors?
No. No, it isn't.
Do it. To be honest,
do it.
To be honest, for my Tzeentch army, I have to get enough horrors to do the 40 horror trick.
We'll do that and then pay Big Bird. Let's do it.
And finally, the Exalted Locus of Conjuration, which is 50 points. Spells cast by this model and any model in his unit are resolved at +1 strength.
I think this is the best.
That's by a mile the best one. It's the only one I'd even entertain purchasing.
But the only law it actually works on, because he only has access to 2, is the Law of Tzeentch.
Yes.
Because Law of Metal does not have any strength values.
Yep, and I think you drop him in a massive, in a. See, this is the problem.
You don't, because they only get 1 spell.
Because they only get 1 spell. So what do you drop him in, like?
By himself with level 2, or you make him a level 2 and stick him in the unit.
I'd make him a level 2. I'd have another Herald without a Locus who's also a level 2 and in a unit of pink horrors.
Yeah.
You've got 5 spells that you can buff the strength of.
That's a really good thought process. I like that. That's the best piece of advice
you just put him with Heralds that are all level 2s.
Yeah. That's the best advice we can give you with that. Right there, Scott's nailed it.
Those Heralds are 125 points level 2s. They're not pricey.
No, not massively for a level 2 with a ward save. It's not horrendous.
Like you say though, if he's in a unit where he's got 5 spells, he's basically 10 points a spell that's been spent to up the strength. Yeah. Well worth it, yeah.
So again, this loci is more supporting, not MSU style, it's more supporting just a big brick of pink horrors.
Which is not very competitive.
No. So because pink horrors want to be MSU.
Yeah. They're better MSU because they offer more benefits for the number of channels and stuff. I think overall, it's a bit of a trap because we've said ourselves off camera, and I think it's pretty prevalent view in the community as well, is with horrors, really they're batteries. A lot of the time they're batteries. You can spam the cast on them, but most of the time they'll be generating dice for your Lord level wizard. When you've only got 12 dice and no way to really get any more, that's it.
I see a lot of people, when it comes to the pink horrors, I see a lot of people just say, oh, if I don't get Infernal Gateway, then they won't be casting any spells.
Yeah, I mean, Gleam Magic is the other one that I would be looking at seriously.
Yeah, that is the other one.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it gives them the spell, it's more that it robs your opponent.
It stops your opponent.
You 6 dice Infernal Gateway, you don't care if you take the 2 to 6 round 10 hits at that point. You're doing some damage to your opponent.
Don't really care.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to move on from the Heralds. Like, the loci just need to be spammed, if I'm honest. If you're taking...
I wouldn't spam the Locust. I would spam the Heralds with 1 Herald with the Locust.
Yeah, I agree. And I probably wouldn't... As much as I really like the +1 strength, I probably wouldn't take any of it. I'd just use them as a battery.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Next is the Exalted Flamer, who comes in a competitive rating of 11 out of 24. It's the same as this one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, exact same.
Yeah, he's not actually in the book.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know where I'm looking. Cause he's not there.
I'll
tell you where he is. He's on that page.
Sorry. So you get there with 1 for output, 3 for special rules, 1 for synergy, 2 for risk, 3 for survivability, and 1 for cost. So this guy can be found in the Demons FAQ as an additional hero selection, and his model is the one from the Burning Chariot.
Yeah, it's the dude on the back of the disc.
So because the Burning Chariot model, you can choose to make him a herald on the back of that chariot, and you have the Flamer dude, you can stick him on a 25mm base.
Or conversely, put the Flamer on the chariot and put it in your cabinet, and then have an on-foot herald.
Because I have 2 of these heralds on foot because I have 2 Burning Chariots.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I tried to use 2 burning chariots, but they did not work out for me. But is he any good then? No, he's not.
Alright, James.
I was supposed to be a group one.
No, he's not good. But he's the exact same as he is on the burning chariot, just not on the chariot.
So he's got the flamer template.
He's got the
or
flame.
the grape shot.
He's got both those.
So he's got a fire thrower or the grape shot.
Mhm.
I actually think that with the fire thrower on the 25, he's better because at least he can.
Is he movement 4?
Movement. I think his movement 6, same as a flamer.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Can he join units of flamers?
He's a character. So
can
he can
do
join the
that.
skirmishers.
Has he got scout?
But
No, the
neither the
flamers.
flamers.
Oh, they're just skirmish.
They're
Yeah.
just skirmish.
That's upsetting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, why do you think they're scout?
I don't know.
That
They're
makes
not
them
good.
Vaguely good.
Yeah.
So hang on a minute. How does his blue fire work? Can he march and shoot a blue fire? He's a
I
skirmisher.
think if he joins the skirmisher unit, he gains skirmish, doesn't he?
Yes, characters that join units of skirmishers gain
So he will be
skirmisher.
if he's not on his own, he cannot march and shoot. If he joins the unit,
Then he can.
then he can.
Because it just says, during the shooting phase, the flamer can shoot either pink or blue fire. This can be done even if the burning chariot moved in the preceding movement phase.
I'll have a look at the FAQ before when we go into the next section, just to give you guys the
Yeah,
update at that point.
but
And we'll go from there.
Possibly.
But the stat lines of the shooting is the exact same as what you have here. So
yeah,
it's the
strength D6 for pink fire, slow to fire, warp flame.
yeah.
12-inch range, strength D6 plus 3 for blue fire, slow to fire, warp
Strength
flame.
D6 and then
Yeah.
give you regen.
Yeah, War Flame again rears his ugly head.
That's why blue fire is so much better, because you're guaranteed it's at least strength 4.
Yeah. A
And then
possible
you've
strength.
got to roll
one.
to
But
hit.
then you got to roll to hit.
I think I'd rather have the template and hope for the best.
I think I'd rather do a template, yeah, because you are just not going to hit anything. Grape shot.
Fair.
Okay. How many points is he?
90. Same as a
He's
herald.
a herald,
Yeah.
but he isn't a wizard.
What,
And has rubbish shooting attack.
Why? Why? What?
It's okay. It's okay,
It's
James.
not.
It's, okay.
It's not. You can't even benefit from the locust. Just please.
Shall we move into something that's actually going to make us really happy?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, because we're going to move from our generic characters, because we have a lot. So there's 3 generics, and now we're going to move into 3 special characters.
Okay, good.
So we're going to start with none other than the absolute monster of magic.
Blue scribes?
As we described, yeah.
Yes, the blue scribes of eight.
We're going to start off with Kairos Fate Weaver himself.
The Oracle of Tzeentch.
Keeper of the Destiny Scrolls. What are the Destiny Scrolls? The Mocking Watcher. He gets 23 out of 24.
Big score.
Yep, if you've seen our top 5 special character wizards, you'll note his position is second to only Morathai.
They have the same
the
score.
Hag Sorceress.
They got the same score. I think Morathai beats him out because she can kill him in combat.
She would win in a one-on-one.
She'd one-on-one him, yeah.
Yeah.
She'd easy do him.
Which we've seen before when your brother Charles my Kairos Fate with Morathai. We have seen it before.
Just wrecked him.
He did. She did. Anyway, so he
Forgot
gets
about that.
4 for outputs, 4 special rules, 4 for synergy, 4 for risk, 4 for ability, and 3 for cost.
Yeah, and the output is not coming from his combat stat line.
No, his output is coming from his magic. And his magic is wild.
Yeah,
He be
it is.
wildin'.
It is wild. So Kairos is a level 4 wizard, which is unsurprising. However, when it comes to generating spells, each of his heads generates 4 spells from up to 4 of the laws of magic, battle magic.
yeah.
So his left head can choose a total of 4 spells from Law of Life, Metal, Light, and Heavens. You don't have to choose 1 from each. You can have 4 from Life if you want, or 2 from Life,
Yeah,
2 from Metal.
you can.
However you want to blend it. His right head may then choose a total of 4 spells from the laws of Death, Beast, Shadow, and Fire. Both heads always know all the spells from the law of Tzeentch.
So you have to choose which head you use at the start of the magic phase, though.
Yep. And then you can only cast spells that are known to that head.
So he's very similar to Teclis, but Teclis has to pick a spell from each law.
Yes.
Whereas
One from each, yeah.
Kairos has, just says, I'm not having any of that. I'm going to take whatever I want to
Yeah,
take.
do you know what? I don't want to bother with fire, so I'm going to take
but he is limited then to
only knowing 4 spells per
only being
phase.
able to use 4 of
Yeah.
the 8 that he
Yes.
knows.
No. He's got access to 7 spells as well.
Yeah, but
As
he's
well as
limited
Yeah.
to only using 4 of the 8 he knows, right?
Because
No,
you don't cast the Tzeentch spells.
You probably, I reckon he could.
Yeah, maybe.
You maybe cast Gleam Magic.
Yeah, Gleam Magic's pretty good.
Yeah, and we discussed this before the deep dive as well. Gleam Magic. So both heads know that all the spells from Laura Tzeentch.
Yes.
Gleam Magic, when we get into it, steals a spell from a target, and the caster gains that spell if he doesn't
Yes.
already gain that spell.
If he doesn't already know it.
The argument is that does the head know that spell, or is it the model that knows that spell? We've said it's the model.
Because the model is the caster.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Kairos, if Kairos steals a spell from, say, if he's using his Death, Fire, Beast, or Shadow head,
The right head.
and he uses and he steals a spell from the Law of Life for such,
Yep.
if he's still using the right head, he can still use that Law of Life spell.
Yeah, because he knows that spell now, not the head specifically. It's in his chest, in his heart.
Yeah,
We're
that's what
in the burning heart.
Very
if you will.
poetic.
That's what we're ruling it as.
Yes.
I don't think there's an FAQ anyway to say that's how it works, but that's how we.
Yeah, we think that's sensible. Basically, it's sensible.
So
way
it does
through.
mean you can somewhat get the spells across the heads.
So we will put together a 20-0 tactics for Kairos at some point.
Because there's a lot.
There's a
really
lot.
goes
There's
into
so
spells.
much to discuss and how you do it.
How you choose the spells.
But he
what
is
spells you
incredibly
choose.
flexible.
If you choose at the beginning of the game.
The better you are, the better he will be.
Yeah.
The better understanding you have of what makes an opponent's army tick, the better you can make him.
Yeah.
And he has the Staff of Tomorrow.
Staff
Staff tomorrow, yeah. So Kairos allows you to reroll a single d6 of your choice once per turn. You declare before you make the reroll. If this is used to reroll a single dice from a batch of 2d6 or 3d6, the other dice in that batch cannot be rerolled.
That's D6, not artillery dice.
Yeah, so because it's a d6, it must be a 6-sided 6-pip dice, if you like. It can't be an artillery or a scatter, as Max and Scott have said. But there's a lot to do here, but a point that I think we should make before we move on from him is a point Scott made just before we came on to me, which is what you need to think about more than anything is the synergy of each head in of itself.
Yes.
So you've got Metal, Fire, Beast, Shadow head.
Yeah. No.
Sorry.
Death Beast Shadowfire.
Death, Beast, Shadow, Fire head.
Yeah.
Right.
And the more destructive of the wars.
Yeah. So you want to be thinking about, I'll take Melkoff's and Purple Sun.
Yeah.
Because there's synergy between those. And then I'll take...
Flaming Sword and Whiston's Wild Form, possibly.
Yes, that's anher really good combination if I'm looking to do like a combat buff. But if I'm looking to do like more raw damage, I might decide to take Withering and Fireball as an example.
Doom,
maybe.
Whoa. Just remember this, at the end of the day, guys, you don't have to take any spells from all laws.
No, you could just ignore Beast.
You can just mug off Beast and take like 2 from Death, 2 from Shadow.
I probably wouldn't. Curse is a really good spell.
Or you can mug off Fire.
Yeah.
But again...
Or, Melkov's and Curse.
Yeah.
Because you go, well, actually, I'm going to hit you with a movement from Melkov's, while you take, which will make you want to march more, which means you take the dangerous terrain. Then when you get in combat, I'll hit you with a Curse for -1 to hit, and I'll hit you with Melkov's to drop weapon skill.
So this is what you've got to look at seriously. And the same on the other head, you've got Life,
Metal, Light, and Heavens.
Metal, Light, and Heavens. So there's really strong synergy there with Fast Protection and Ishar Blizzard from Heavens and Light respectively to get a double stack of minuses to hit. You can actually combine that really nicely with, say, Transmutation to Lead, which drops a point of weapon skill. And all of a sudden you've got a potentially huge hit modifier you've created from very little. And then if you paired that up, say we went with 1 from each, don't have to, as you said, you could pair that up with, say, Flesh to Stone and have a tough unit that's really hard to hit.
Yeah.
That's the internal synergy of the head.
I don't know if we mentioned it specifically. He chooses his spells, obviously. That's what we're going for.
You choose. You don't
roll for the spells.
them at all.
You pick, I want that spell, that spell.
And that's what you've got to consider. That's going to be the preeminent thing, but we will sit down. I'll try and sit down and work out a bit of a tactics kind of class for him.
What we're going through is that he is unparalleled in Magic in some regards.
Yeah. His closest counterpart is Teclis, but there is a big difference between the two still. I think they're the same in that the better you are as a player, the better they will be. But the fact Kairos can generate 4 spells from a lore, but only knows those 4 spells plus Tzeentch every turn. He doesn't know all 8 that he knows.
Yeah, in a way, I think
they are very different.
Teclis is easier to be consistent with.
Yeah.
He's much easier to be consistent with, and he will be more consistent because he's got a lot of ability to improve his casting. He's got the shenanigans and items that he can guarantee having to make him a better caster and a better dispeller than Kairos, because he's level 5 as well. But Kairos has the manoeuvrability, he has the raw stat line that Teclis doesn't have as well, which is huge.
So the Kairos stat line isn't great by any stretch of the
imagination. It's not great for combat, but it's decent
good
for
for
getting
surviving.
shot at. Yeah,
Strength 5, Toughness 5.
Strength, Toughness 5 with 5 wounds. He is, however, Weapon Skill Initiative 1 with 1 attack.
Yeah, but he's a pure casting beast.
Yeah.
He has
Don't put him in combat.
the only model in the book that has a 4 ward save. The Mask is the only one that beats him out for the ward saves.
Yeah, he's the Oracle of Eternity. He does have a 4+.
He's flying with Terror.
And he rerolls once to ward save because he's Tzeentch.
He does.
Runs the channel.
Rerolls the channel as well.
He's just different, and I will do the video on him, but he's absolutely incredible. You can pull and pluck what you need and make a really devastating wizard for yourself.
I like to think of it like a shotgun in a magic phase. Really, so your arms go all in and just go blast your way like that.
That's the sort of thing you play like Woodies and take all the magic missiles in the world.
Yeah. Fireball, Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom, there you go.
That's
where you take
Flock
Flock of Doom.
Flock of Doom, yeah, and like a ballistic skill.
Yeah.
That's a horrible head for the enemy.
Cool. Overall, he is supremely good. We can't do him justice in this little section.
We'll do a good video on him for you guys at some point, probably early next year.
Move into something that drastically drops off the cliff from Kairos, and we have the Changeling. And he gets a competitive rating of 8 out of 24.
The joint lowest.
He's joint lowest with 2 others of Ungrel Forehorn, all the way back in like the 3rd or 4th deep dive we did, and Oxyotl.
Ah, poor Oxyotl.
Oh dear,
Oxyotl.
He's good in Total War.
Well, this
he
is
still unseen.
He does.
So
on the tabletop because rubbish.
the Changeling, he has 0 for output because he still has a lower stat line. I think he has a lower stat line than a Herald or whatever it is.
Yeah, he does. He only has 1 attack.
Yeah, they got 1 attack. That's why he's not got the average stat line.
And he's only strength 3.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
3 for special rules, 1 for synergy, 1 for risk, 2 for survivability, and 1 for cost. When he's in combat, his survivability will go up slightly.
Yeah, it will.
So he has
he has Formless Horror.
There you
So at
go.
the start of each close combat phase, choose an enemy model in base contact with the Changeling. The Changeling may increase any or all of his weapon skill, strength, toughness, initiative, and attacks characteristics to match those of the chosen enemy model until the end of that phase. If the chosen model has more than 1 value for a characteristic, as is the case with a mounted model, the Changeling may always choose the higher value. The Changeling cannot match the characteristics of an enemy that is fighting in a challenge unless the Changeling is fighting in the same challenge.
So it'd be better if he swaps stats, but no, he just copies.
Which is what he used to do,
Yeah.
and now he copies.
Yeah.
So he can still get decked up because he still only has 2 wounds at that point in time.
Yeah, so basically expect to be hitting on 4s and be hit on 4s a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Most things have the same strength and toughness, so unless they've got a magic weapon, you're probably going to be wounded on 4s as well, and wounding on 4s.
He has a locus.
That's another big problem for him is because of the magic weapon element in the game. He's suddenly caught out by a magic weapon.
He has a locus.
He does. He has the worst locus. He has the lesser locus of transmogrification.
That's the blue horror one.
Which is the blue horror one. Yeah, it gives you D3+1 tokens. He himself doesn't have the blue horror rule, so again has to go and ping horrors to make that worth it.
Do you know what the most aggressively bad thing about him is?
Aggressively bad.
170 points.
Is he a wizard?
No.
He's a level. Yeah,
he's a level 1.
He's a level 1 from the Law of Tzeentch.
That's a small blessing, but
170 points.
do you want to take a herald and possibly let him get killed over 2 turns?
Do you want to pay 45 points for a worse stat line, but to have the ability to match some stats which are better than yours in combat? Funnily enough, no, I don't want to pay 45
points. 170 max it is.
Yeah, but the Herald's level 1 as well.
Yeah.
So
90.
it's 90 points.
So it's 80 points.
80 points.
Yeah. No, I don't want to pay that. You're right, Scott.
No.
Let's move on.
Move on to the Changeling. He has a nice new model, which is another plus. You see him in the cabinet.
I thought we were moving on.
See him in the cabinet next to the Burning Chariots. And then we have the Blue Scribes of Tzeentch, and they get a competitive rating of 13 out of 24. A little bit better.
Which is an improvement.
1 for output, 4 for special rules, 1 for synergy, 3 for risk, 2 for survivability, and 2 for cost. Right, so they're weird. They aren't a wizard, but they cast spells.
Yes, so they have Spell Siphon. Whenever so this isn't their casting spells, but they have 2 things which are to do with.
So a special rule first.
Yeah, so Spell Siphon. Whenever an enemy successfully casts a spell, including bound spells, place a counter next to the Blue Scribes. At the start of your next magic phase, the Blue Scribes can make a channeling attempt for each counter. Once the Blue Scribes have attempted to channel, remove all counters from them.
You have to actively let your opponent cast spells.
Yeah, you have to let your opponent get spells off for them to channel. Not great. Scrolls of Sorcery is their demonic gift. It's an arcane item. The Blue Scribes can cast 1 spell from one of the 8 laws of battle magic in the Warhammer rulebook during each of his own magic phases. You can choose which law the spell is to be cast from, but must roll a d6 and consult the magic law to see which spell is cast. The Blue Scribes can therefore never cast a signature spell. Big shame. If there is no viable target or you choose not to cast the spell that has been rolled, the Blue Scribes do not cast a spell that turn. Spells cast by the Blue Scribes are treated as bound spells with a power level equal to their casting value.
So really random.
So I think that for 81 points,
So hell, 81
I
points.
do like taking a chance that I'll get a really crunchy spell at an important moment.
Yeah?
But let's be real.
No.
They're not great.
No.
And do you know what's even more funny? Is they're not wizards, but they will take the strength 6 hit from an 8 on the miscast table
Because it's anyone who can generate power with a spell dice.
which they can.
Which they can. So yeah, they will. Hilarious.
Would they only take the strength 6 hit if they've got a counter next to them?
No,
No.
because they can generate.
They can
power.
do
They
it.
can't if they got the counter.
Well, they should get some counters. In.
But no, but if they don't have got the counters, they can't generate
Yeah,
power.
but the model can generate.
I'm just trying to help them out.
It's not.
It's over, mate.
I've got here that
They're a great model, though.
they are a really nice model. Weirdly enough, even though there are blue horror, which is the smaller of the horrors, they have the same stat line as a herald.
There is 2 of
Yeah,
them.
they
though.
do.
There is 2 of them, but still.
Yeah, they
They
grab
do.
1 arm each. They bite, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
And they do ride a discus each. They do fly as
They
well,
do.
so they can get in the way of everything. They are cheap as chips, as James said. They are
81 points.
They can double as chaff. And again, because they're on... This is the thing. I do think that like the Denial army is... The MSU Denial is kind of a way to go with Tzeentch.
Yeah.
Where you just sort of have your heralds on discs and this guy on a... You just fly them around and keep them out of line of sight. Just
Plink stuff off.
don't
with
give
some
away the
spells.
points and just see if you can plink off. And that's when you roll a cheeky Rannon's Thunderbolt or a Chain Lightning and then go...
Do you know what the most maddening thing would be about these guys? Is that when you end up being 1 point over?
Can you imagine how annoyed you'd be?
Because you can't drop a point anywhere in the army.
No.
Steaming.
They are the they are the
yeah.
Azil Arcanologists.
Tzeentch's Quaestors.
The Wandering Wizards. Yeah, it's the fact you've still got to cast the spell that they roll.
Yeah, you got to take dice out of your pool to actually cast spells.
Yeah.
So,
But you don't have to cast it.
You don't have to.
Which I think is really good because
Yeah.
you roll it and get one that you think's rubbish and go.
Oh, I've got Searing Doom against like Beastmen or like Demons. I think I'll leave it.
do you know what? You just get Transformation Kit on and just go, you know what? They'll have it. Turn into a Manic Chimera.
They can't.
Why not?
They're
Oh,
not
it's not
infantry.
infantry.
Ah!
Yeah, it's only infantry in it. They're
It's
cavalry.
on a savage piece of horror themselves though.
Oh, yeah.
Give themselves 5 strength 6 attacks.
Yeah.
Web
Yeah,
skill
see?
3.
Now you're talking.
Web skill 3.
Give him +1 to it from Kairos.
+1's a hit from your Lord of Change or Kairos. Armor piercing.
Flaming Sword.
Machines. Combat 81 point combat machine.
But what you have to do is charge them into combat before you know what spell they've got or that if you've cast it.
That's
oh, mate,
correct.
you're taking the truth. You're taking a risk.
Okay.
Taking a risk, man.
Okay.
I'm going Laura Beast. There's a 5. Alright.
Yeah, I'm going Laura Beast. It's an amber spit.
Anyway,
Oh dear, oh dear.
as I said, cheap as chips. I'm not a big fan of them. I know Scott is, sort of.
I like them. I like them a lot less having actually read their spell siphon rule that it's enemy spells only.
Yeah.
I like them less having read their rules.
Yeah. I thought it was all spells, so I thought it would come off your spells and you get extra dispel dice.
You was the same, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought they did it off every spell.
Yeah.
But I think for 81 points, I think I'd probably try and include them.
Yeah, I'd possibly take
Certainly in
a
an
chance.
all Tzeentch list, I
Yeah,
think I'd give them a
yeah.
stab, yeah.
Why not? Anyway, that concludes our characters and it concludes the units.
It does.
That's,
I don't know, I'm closing the book. I've got
it
open
feels to
again.
me that the characters actually took as long as the actual units themselves.
Probably.
I think there's about as many.
Yeah, they're probably about me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna move into demonic gifts now. But before we do that, so why not grab yourself a beverage, a Pepsi maybe.
Whoa. We say Coke here.
Do you have Pepsi downstairs?
I do have Pepsi downstairs.
So why are you saying?
Is that you saying you want to go downstairs and get a Pepsi?
Maybe.
Other beverages are available: cola, Pepsi, water. If you're Cristiano Ronaldo and you're healthy, good
Bit of
for you.
Sprite,
Appletizer.
Yeah.
Fanta.
Fanta. We've had that one for a while, haven't we? Bit of Fanta.
Anyway, go grab yourself a drink and come back and watch us talk about the demonic gifts. So, demonic gifts. These are the reasons why it's so hard to make a competitive character video for the demons. I get my words out there as well, can't I?
Be good, yeah. Max Reed.
As you purchase an exalted, greater or lesser gift and then roll on the corresponding table so it's completely random. So what we're going to do now is go through the list the tables themselves, not the lists, including the Hellforged artifacts, and to discuss the specific items you can swap for depending on what god you're aligned with.
Yes.
So lesser gifts first. And before we do this, I'm going to put out there, these aren't good for Tzeentch. None of these are particularly good unless you're a Lord of Change.
Yeah,
heralds-
really.
I'm going to put 2 caveats
There
on
are-
top for Max as well.
go on then.
Supportive.
Supportive.
Oh,
Yeah.
supported of me.
I agree with you.
Ah.
Don't forget, you can only take each gift twice
Yeah.
on a model. You can't do 4 lessers on your Lord of Change.
Which would arguably be what you want.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. And the other point here is the big horror for Tzeentch is that it says the 0 on all of these charts is you can swap for a magic weapon.
Yes.
They should say you can swap for an arcane army for Tzeentch. But they
Yeah.
don't. The fact that you can't get any magic augmentative equipment on these guys is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
I'll say it. It's outrageous.
Even if they've caveated that with you can't take a scroll,
Yeah.
which I think is reasonable. Demons can't have scrolls.
I
That's
would-
fine.
I would have been fine if they said Tzeentch can take a scroll.
I
You
think
might have a
then-
reason to take
or-
a Tzeentch
Yeah,
arrow.
I
It
think
seems
every
fair.
list has a level 1 herald with a lesser gift who
Yeah.
has a scroll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's alright. That's alright. Every army has a level 1 wizard with a scroll now.
Stroll caddy.
Yeah, I suppose.
It'd be nice to actually have a use to take him, a reason to take him.
Yeah,
Well,
fair.
come on now.
fair. No,
Right,
he's got a
so
point.
let's
So,
get
as I
stuck
said,
in.
all these tables are no good for heralds because they're all pretty much in combat only, except a few of them. You might actually want to take that one, to be honest, at some point.
No,
Well, you might want to take on a herald, just
No.
kill it.
I don't want to waste 130 points. 140 points.
Anyway, so lesser gifts, 25 points per roll on the table. So
Yes.
that's going to start us off then.
So the 0 result is you can swap this for a magic weapon of up to 25 points from the main rulebook, or Demons of Tzeentch can swap to the Wand of Whimsy, which you do on a Lord of Change. The Wand of Whimsy is a magic weapon. Whenever the bearer successfully casts or dispels a spell, roll a d6. The Wand of Whimsy grants a charge on a roll of a 5+. The Wand of Whimsy grants the bearer a bonus to both strength and attacks equal to the number of charges.
Makes the Keeper of Secrets an absolute monster.
One of the best.
Do you mean Lord of Change?
Lord of Change, yeah.
One of the best magic weapons in the game if you're a
Yeah.
spellcaster.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a big monster
This is
spellcaster.
good on the Demon Prince as well.
It's not terrible on him,
No.
yeah.
But you'd just rather have it on the Lord of Change because we
Yeah.
said it's only 10 points difference.
And it's
And
also,
he's got a better stat line.
for that sort of thing, you'd always think that would be the greater gift.
Yeah.
You would, yeah.
But that is only 25
it
points.
It is not. It's 25 points, and that is the first gift on your Lord of Change.
Yeah,
Take it on Lord of
it
Change,
really
just
is.
swap it out.
So, number 1, Skill Swallower. Whenever the demon slays an enemy character, it immediately increases one characteristic of your choice by 1 point. Number 2, Cleaving Blow. The demon's close combat attacks have the multiple wounds 2 special rule. Number 3, Crushing Mass. The demon has impact its D3 special rule. Number 4, Dark Blessing. The demon has a 2-up ward save against the first wound it suffers in the battle. Noxious Breath is number 5. The demon has a strength 2 breath weapon. Armor saves cannot be taken against wounds caused by this attack. And number 6 is Unnatural Swiftness. The demon has the Always Strikes First special rule. So again, really efficient for number 6 on a Lord of Change. Or a
Yeah.
Demon Prince.
Or I think the 2-up ward save against the first wound.
I think they're
Not
all
bad.
good on the Lord of Change.
Yeah,
If
they're
you've
all
got
not
2
bad.
lessers and 1 greater, which we talked
Yeah.
about either having... You definitely want Wonder Whimsy, that's an auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's whether you pay for a second lesser and a greater,
Or just a greater.
or just the greater. If you do pay for the second, remember that Skill Swallower can't be used on wounds at any of our events, and
Nope.
I've never seen anywhere that says it can, to be fair. But it's actually good on the Lord of Change because he's got a good 6s on everything stat line.
And they
So
can be increased
If
pretty
you're
well.
fighting sort of really fast stuff, you can go initiative. If you're fighting high weapon skill stuff, you can go weapon
He's
skill.
also got the Wonder Whimsy to up his strength and attacks as well, which makes it more likely he's
got
going to kill a character.
good base to increase on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has,
absolutely.
yeah. I wouldn't worry about the breath weapon. He's got no way to maximise
No.
the use of it. Jog that off. The others, I think, are all okay for him.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
going to make the flying charges to get the impact hits, at least.
Looking at something.
Okay.
What are you looking at?
I was going to say, do you need to use the Wonder Whimsy in combat to get the bonuses?
No,
You
you
do.
get the chart. Do you?
Yeah.
The Wonder Whimsy grants a charge on a 5+. The Wands of Whimsy grants the bearer a bonus to both strength and attacks equal to the number of charges. So you
Yeah,
don't
it's
get
like
the
when
bonus.
you take the Ogre Blade, it gives you +2 strength
Yeah,
whilst you're using it.
Yeah.
You don't just get strength 6
Strength
against
6
dwellers.
on your stat line. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's the lesser gift table.
Don't take them on
and,
Herald.
and ASF
Yeah.
is the best one
Yes.
there
Yeah.
to go with the Wonder Whimsy.
Yes. Greater gifts then, 50 points per roll. The 0 is a greater weapon, so this is a 50-point magic weapon from the rulebook, or the Staff of Change for Demons of Tzeentch. Staff of Change is another magic weapon. Any character or monster that suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds from the Staff of Change must immediately pass a toughness test, or suffer an additional d6 wounds with no armor saves allowed. If such model loses its last wound to the Staff of Change, it explodes. All models within d6 immediately suffer a single strength 5 hit.
Hitting your own models,
Yeah.
yes, it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's all
Fun!
models within D6 strength 5 hit, so that's like everyone in the Union of Pink Horrors, like the 2D6 strength 10 hits
Yeah.
they took a minute ago, wasn't enough. So don't take that.
Don't take that.
I mean, if your raw change is fine by himself, he's off hunting characters, monsters or anything like that.
So he then just takes a wound on a 5+.
Yeah.
I'm alright,
Well, you've got the Wonder Whimsy. Why are you taking that?
Yeah.
This is you don't actually want another magic weapon on you. I'll say
No.
that.
No.
If you roll on this chart, you want to keep something from the chart, and you want to hope, you want to pray, beseech the dark gods. You don't roll number 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is Unholy Sacrifice. This demon can choose to lose D3 wounds with no saves allowed at the start of any of your magic phases. If it does so, add D3 plus 1 dice to your power pool.
See, I can see it with these guys because they are magic heavy, but I still wouldn't take it.
Nope.
You're just wounding your big thing that kills stuff.
Nope.
Yeah.
And if you put it on a herald, you're just
probably
killing
just
your
killing
herald.
it, yeah.
Luke, just keep going.
Number 2 is Corpulence. The demon has plus 1 wound.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Number 3, Incorporeal Strike. Armor saves can't be taken against the demon close combat attacks.
Excellent.
Good.
Good bit of wand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 4, Soul Eater. At the end of any phase in which the demon causes 1 or more unsaved wounds in close combat, it regains a single lost wound.
Excellent, because I've got 9,000 attacks because I cast some spells.
Yep.
Number 5, Unbreakable Skin. The demon has a 2+ armor save that cannot be improved by any means.
Need we go on?
Number 6, Unholy Flurry. The demon has +2 attacks. Again, pretty good.
With the Wonder
Stacking
Whimsy.
that with Wonder Whimsy.
You're getting to 10 attacks. You're
Yeah.
easy getting to 10 attacks.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is crazy.
Five.
Starts on 5, yeah.
5.
5.
So I would like to interject and say that we all agree we wouldn't take any of these gifts on heralds, unfortunately, because
No.
you're just making spellcastery heralds really expensive because they can't take the arcane items like we talked about earlier. Not worth it.
No.
But the exception for me is I would probably take a greater on my BSB
Fish for 2 up armor or +1 wound.
or +1 wound. I like
Yeah.
both of them a lot. I'd maybe put him on a disc and fly him around to keep him alive and not give
Yeah.
his points up, and that's why I'd think about the gift on him as well.
Yeah.
I think there's another one in that slot that's not too bad on him in those terms
If he
as
causes
well.
1 or more wounds in combat, he regains a single
not
lost
No,
wound.
Right.
there's nothing else. There's nothing else in there.
No? What's number?
3 is you can't take armor saves against the attacks. 4 is to get wounds back. 6 is +2 attack.
The get wounds
1 is
back.
trash.
Yeah, sorry, apologies. Yeah, I was thinking, I've said the 2.
Yeah.
Wound
Yeah.
and armour. But that's it, that's what I'm looking for. And if you don't get either of them, then Fencer's Blades is probably the only weapon I'd consider swapping for on a Herald.
Just
So
try
if he
keep
does
it
get in combat, it makes him harder to hit.
Yeah.
Weapon skill 10, makes him harder to hit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Exalted then, these are 75 points a roll, which means they're restricted to demon princes and greater demons. So 0 is the Hellforged Artefacts. The demon that has one of the Hellforged, the demon has one of the Hellforged Artefacts over leaf. 1 is the Portal Glyph.
Here we go.
Wordy. If your army
Here we
contains
go.
the Portal Glyph, you can choose to keep a single unit in the Realm of Chaos instead of deploying it at the start of the game. The Portal Glyph can be placed in any of your remaining move subphases. If the bearer is slain, he must immediately place the Portal Glyph before being removed as a casualty. In either case, place a counter or other suitable marker within 12 of the bearer and scatter it 3d6, 6d6 if he was slain. If the counter ends up off the board or within 1 inch of a unit or impassable terrain, alter the scatter distance by the smallest amount possible to ensure the counter is placed 1 inch before or beyond the obstruction. Paragraph 1 down. Once the Portal Glyph has been placed, the unit in the Realm of Chaos can enter play through the Portal Glyph during the remaining move subphase of any subsequent friendly turn. When the unit does so, place it facing any direction, provided that the unit has at least as many files as it has ranks. The rear of the back rank is in base contact with the counter. No model is more than 12 inches from the counter, and the unit is not within 1 inch of any of another unit, impassable terrain, or the board edge. The unit can then move normally, but not march.
What do you want to keep in reserve for Demons of Tzeentch?
Wordy.
What would you want to keep in reserve?
Nothing.
If by reserve you mean the cabinet, then most of their army selection.
Burning
Right.
Chariots?
Yeah, they're in the cabinet.
They're in a cabinet.
Um,
the Changeling?
I don't know. Maybe a soul grind just to be hilarious to bump a soul grind in the middle of someone's army turn too. Yeah.
Just deal with it. Go on.
Surprise soul grinder, yeah. But no,
Pokemon.
I think realistically, the Pokeball is a bad choice. Please move on.
Yeah. Rock of Inevitability, 1 use only. The bearer of the Rock of Inevitability can use it at the end of any movement phase. Place a cursed bulwark, an obstacle up to 8 inches long, anywhere within 6 of the bearer. It cannot be placed on top of or within 1 inch of a unit or placed on a terrain feature other than a hill. At the end of each of your turns, roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, nothing happens. On a 4 to 5, place a further cursed bulwark. On a score of a 6, place a cursed tower, a citadel, watchtower, or another building of similar size. Cursed terrain features placed in this way must be positioned touching an existing cursed terrain feature and cannot be placed on top of a unit or a terrain feature other than a hill or forest. If the terrain feature cannot be placed or you don't have the relevant terrain feature, then nothing is placed. Cursed bulwarks are walls and cursed towers are buildings. A model from the Forces of Order that is in base contact with either a cursed tower or a cursed bulwark suffers a -2 penalty to initiative.
Trash.
Right, so this is the best faction of demons for this item.
Yes.
because they are
Yes.
a defensive army,
Magic
probably
heavy.
MSU defensive
Yep.
style army where you can putting up the bulwarks could be really good if you get them off. We're back to Skaven on steroids, Tzeentch.
Yeah.
It's just random.
You need to get the building from this,
J-
and yes, only 1 in 6 to get the building.
I don't think we need the building.
The walls are good enough,
still helpful. The
'cause they're
mine's time to be
hardcover.
hit in combat, hardcover.
But you have to place it initially within 6 of him at the end of his movement phase.
Yes.
Which means that Big Bird is he's on your back line
Yes.
to drop this. He hasn't gone forward immediately on turn
He
1,
hasn't
which is
he
where
hasn't flown off.
which is where I'd want him to be
Yes.
because the rest of that stuff is literally less a demon to me. So
Less
yeah,
than a demon.
it's not good. Please leave it.
No. The Eternal Blade next could be good on a Lord of Change.
Yeah.
Roll a d3 at the start of each round of combat. The bearer's weapon skill, strength, initiative, and attacks are increased by this amount until the end of the phase.
So it's a more consistent Wonder Whimsy.
I think we have both. It's magic weapon.
It's
No.
Magic Weapon.
Upsetting.
It's also a less consistent Wonder Whimsy really because it's random at the start of every phase.
It is, but
whereas-
you are getting a bonus from it.
But with the wand, it's every spell I cast. I
You
get
have-
the attempt to build the charge. I don't lose the charges. They're not
You don't,
expended.
no.
No.
I know you don't, but I'm saying like the Wonder Whimsy is a 5+. I'm not saying the Wonder Whimsy is worse. I'd take the Wonder Whimsy. But I'm saying this one,
It's
you,
also a third of the points.
it is a third of the points. I would say the Eternal Blade, you do get like don't have to roll a 5+ for it.
It's okay, but I would take the one.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have to declare you're using the Eternal Blade to get the d3?
It's a magic weapon.
It's a magic weapon. So
You have to use a magic weapon.
you'd have to use
Yeah,
a magic
but
weapon.
the is it Gold Sigil Sword? The bearer just has initiative 10.
Yeah, I think these are one of those like awkward wordings that happen. But the sword, you've got to be using the sword realistically
To
because
get the plus,
to
to get the attacks and strength at least.
yeah,
Yeah,
to
fair.
get it, I'd have thought. Yeah.
Fair. Finally, Chromatic Tomes. This is enchanted again. You can choose to reroll the Winds of Magic dice in your turn. However, if you do so, your opponent can also reroll the Winds of Magic in his turn if he wishes. In either case, all the Winds of Magic dice must be rerolled.
It's almost like you didn't have you're the best special character in the game that allows you to reroll a dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Chromatic Tome is actually alright for Tzeentch. I think you could go Wonder Whimsy and
I think
Exalted
it's-
for
I
Chromatic
think
Tome
it's
access.
the only one of the 4 really that
That
you
you
take.
consider, yeah. It's just to make sure you're getting more power dice every turn. If you roll really poorly, you can use the tome to reroll. And I think that's well worth considering, people. Because
And you've got to consider at 2,500 points, you're not going to have Kairos and a guy with the Exalted gift.
No, you're not.
So if you don't take Kairos, you could take the Chromatic Tome to
I
offset that.
I would if I would think about it. I don't know
Yeah.
if I would for definite, but you need to cast spells, and as we said, you haven't got access to arcane items to help you do it.
Nope.
So you need to think about what can give you extra power.
How
dice.
to get as many power dice as you can.
Yeah.
So what else have we got?
So number 1 then, we're back to the table. Number 1 on the Exalted gift table is Aura of Disruption. Any dispel attempt you make while this model is on the table receives 1 extra free dispel dice. Really good.
Excellent.
Yep.
Number 2, Sorcerer's Lodestone. Whenever a spell is successfully cast by any wizard, roll a d6. This demon regains a wound lost earlier in the battle on a roll of a 5+. Whenever a spell is miscast by any wizard, the demon instead suffers a wound on the roll of a 4+.
The amount
Dreadful.
of wizards you have, you're going to be miscasting.
You're going to
Yeah.
miscast a lot with a Tzeentch army.
Number 3, Bringer of the Swarm. At the end of every close combat phase in which the demon causes 1 or more unsafe wounds, a unit of Chaos Furies is created. The unit consists of 1 Chaos Fury for every unsafe wound caused. The unit must be placed wholly within 6 of the demon and cannot be placed within 1 of another unit or impassable terrain. If any model cannot be placed because there isn't enough room, or you do not have sufficient models, it is lost. Units created in this way do not award victory points.
So many reasons why this is so bad.
Please, someone explain it that isn't me. I've done it 3 times already.
The Furies that come in, they have to wholly be within 6. So even if you kill loads of models with your Lord of Change, they're not all going to fit within 6, so you're going to lose models anyway.
They're on a 25mm
They're on
base.
25mm bases
And a skirmish.
and are skirmishers, so they take up a lot of room.
They don't come
They
in
don't
marks.
come aligned to any god,
No.
which means they are leadership 2, and there is nothing you can do about it. Don't waste 75 points.
You spent 75 points. That's the worst part.
Save 5 points and put a unit of 5 Furies of Tzeentch in your list.
I beg of you.
I'm about saying it's a tough choice. You roll this, and you got a choice between this or one of the Hellforged
Yeah,
artifacts.
this or the chromatic
Chromatic
tome.
Yeah.
Number 4,
Oh, please don't do it to me.
Impenetrable Hide. The demon has +2 toughness.
Like this.
Decent.
Number 5, Massive Might. The demon has +3 strength.
Decent.
Yeah,
Probably
but
unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Number 6, Doubly Blessed. Roll again on this table, re-rolling results for 6, and once on the lesser gift table. The demon receives both gifts at no additional cost.
Right, so
Do
that's,
you have dice that roll lots of 6s? Because you could just go all out, just get an exalted gift, hope you roll a 6 to get the lesser, and then swap it for the one that wins.
That is a ballsy
Do you
play.
cheat?
Do you have loaded dice?
Want to buy some dice that only roll 6s?
Yeah.
Right. I think Wonder Whimsy is the must, and I Max, what's your thought process?
2 lessers and a greater.
Is that what you do on a Lord of Change?
I won't take anything on Herald.
And no Herald flavour
No.
would get a thing.
No.
Okay, so for you it's two lessers, 1 greater,
On the
and
Lord of
none
Change.
on the Herald.
Yeah.
Lord of Change for you, Scott.
Lord of Change, just an exalted, and I'd just rely on rolling a 6.
You're
No, I'm
such a
joking.
liar.
I'd go lesser, and
It's either a lesser and a greater or lesser
I'd
and 2
go
greaters.
lesser exalted.
Bold for Chromatic Tome.
Ooh.
For Chromatic Tome or for Aura of Disruption, get the free Dispel dice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if you rolled the 6, you could still take Chromatic Tome as well off of that, which is strong.
Yeah.
There's the,
Or you just roll again on the lesser gift and try and get ASF.
the one on Whimsy works for dispelling attempts, doesn't it? It's when you dispel a spell.
Yeah, it's cast or dispel.
Yeah.
It's
So
incredible.
that buffs the wand as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I'm definitely of
And
the...
I wouldn't go any on Herald.
I'm definitely of the opinion I would take a lesser on the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd have to play games to be confident of which I'd prefer, whether it was an Exalted or to do
Yeah, I think
your version.
I'd start with the exalted and then I'd play some games and possibly drop it to a
Yeah.
greater and a lesser.
It's-
You
it-
ballsy.
it
No, I'd
reminds
play
me,
exalted and a lesser.
Ah.
it reminds me of when I've used the Vampire Power or Master of the Black Arts, and how rarely I actually elect to re-roll any of the
Really?
dice. Yeah.
I do it basically all the time, but I do roll something and a 1 or something and a 2
Well,
every single
I just
turn,
think if I roll a
so-
double, I won't.
Yeah.
If I roll like reasonably close, 3,
Like
4,
3 or
5,
4,
6,
3
4,
and a 2.
I probably won't. You know, if both of the dice are 4+, I definitely won't re-roll either of them. So again, I'm like, how many outs are there that I'm actually going to re-roll?
It's not loads.
No, and that's my concern with the Chromatic Tome. And I could fish for 2 up armor save, as we've said about all the demons, and the extra wound,
everyone
which
wants
I
to
like.
fish with 2 of arms.
So
The thing with Chromatic Tome as well, though, you've also got to think of the Reign of Chaos table. So not only is it, you say you won't roll doubles, but you would roll a double 2 because that's -1 wall save.
yeah, so that's the only one
And
really though.
probably Nurgle.
Probably not.
No?
It's D6 strength 3.
D6 plus 3 strength 3 hits.
Yeah, D6 plus 3 strength.
3
hits.
No, isn't it D6 plus D6 hits at strength D6 plus 3?
No.
No, it's the
No,
other way
the hits
around.
are strength 3, yeah.
Alright, okay.
And so because I only care about the big bird and
Yeah.
the soul grinders, I'm not fussed.
Yeah, fair.
But maybe I would try it. I think
Mm.
I'd try what you're saying and maybe end up where Max is.
Yeah.
But I would take a greater on my BSB, but only my BSB.
Okay.
Just for 2 up arms.
just for or corpulence for the
Plus
plus 1
1
wound.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it for demonic gifts. They are
That
not.
is it for
They're
demonic
not
gifts.
particularly good on Daemons of
Yeah,
Tzeentch,
that-
but you could have. There are options for you to use.
They don't help enough of the things that they
No.
need help with.
No.
That's the problem.
No.
No, so we're going to move away from the demonic gifts and we're going to move into something that's even better. The Lore of Tzeentch.
Oh dear.
Yeah! We'll see you in a bit.
I miss crab claws.
So, we're almost done. We're so close.
We're not that close.
There's only a law. It's only one law.
And lists.
That won't take long. I'll breeze through them. We'll go quickly. So on to the Lore of Tzeentch now. So Lore of Tzeentch, universally, it's quite regarded as poor, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott?
Yes.
So
Yes, it's
random, isn't
poor.
it?
It's poor. That's the main thing about it. It's random. So we're going to start off with the Lore of Tzeentch's lore attribute, which is the Fires of Change.
The-
And Scott will read it for me because there's so much to read.
When a demon casts a spell from the Lore of Tzeentch that causes 1 or more unsafe wounds, choose a unit of pink horrors or screamers within 12 of the caster and roll a d6 for each wound caused, excluding wounds caused by the Warp Flame special rule, see below. If it is a unit of pink horrors, add 1 model to the unit for each result of a 4, 5 or 6. If it is a unit of screamers, add 1 model to the unit for each result of a 6. Models are added 1 at a time to the back rank. If the back rank is full at any point, or the unit has a single rank of at least 5 models, the next model starts a new back rank. Models that cannot be placed because there isn't enough room, or you do not have sufficient models, are lost. Models created in this way have no upgrades and don't award additional victory points.
Okay, so it's better than the other lore attributes for the other demons because it's on a 4, 5 or 6 now for the pink horrors.
The lesser demons, yeah.
And
But
I think-
unfortunately, you only get pink horrors.
No.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is,
Adds a casting value, adds a +1 to cast for each rank of 5 more.
Yeah, yes.
I
yes,
also
it does.
think you're going to lose a lot to miscasting and
Yeah.
things like that. So you need these.
Yeah.
You need them to come back.
The only thing I'm saying, because the Law of Tzeentch predominantly on magic missiles and direct damages. So a lot
Yeah.
of these spells are going to be causing wounds.
Yeah, there is one spell that doesn't.
Yeah, which is Treason of Tzeentch.
Treason, yeah, which is, you know.
But they are all random strength, so they're quite hard to rely on in terms of getting the damage out.
Yes, they are.
So, we're going to move into the Law of Tzeentch's signature spell, which is the Blue Fire of Tzeentch. It's cast on 5, 24-inch range, magic missile, D6 hits at D6 strength, can extend the range to 48 inches for an increased casting of an 8.
That's a classic double the range for extra 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is what
Standard.
your pink horrors take if they don't get Infernal Gateway.
Or Gleam.
Or Gleam.
Yeah.
Maybe Gleam.
Unless you find Demons of Corn. Then
Then
leave Gleam
leave
alone.
Gleam at home.
Forget Gleam.
It's a decent amount. It's like a random strength. It's a random strength fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah, on
yeah,
the same cast value as Fireball.
Oh, what I need.
Yeah.
What we also need to say is every damage spell in this law has Warp Flame.
Just to
Oh,
recap you on
yeah.
Warp Flame, if you it's not flaming,
It's not
No.
flaming, so if you
and if you take any wounds
At
from it,
the end of each phase, the unit that suffered one or more unsaved
Okay.
wounds from an attack with this special rule or from an attack made by a model with this special rule during that phase must take a toughness test. If the test is failed, the unit immediately suffers D3 wounds with no armor saves allowed. If the test is passed, all models in that unit gain the Regeneration 6+ special rule for the rest of the game. Any models in that unit that already have the Regeneration special rule instead gain +1 to all Regeneration saving throws for the rest of the game. Chaos is fickle.
What I want to say is this Roy probably what makes this law so trash. Apart,
It
I
helps-
think all the
it helps
randomness
to make it trash.
makes it
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
This is the icing on the cake.
yeah.
It helps to make it trash.
So again, this spell you get D6 hits, D6 strength. You might get 1 hit strength 1. You might get 6 hits strength 6.
Well, 6 hits at strength 1, the James Laming
Or
classic.
1 hit strength or 1 hit strength 6.
Or one hit strength 1.
Yeah.
You're most likely to get sort of 3. Well, actually, you're not. You're
There-
not.
there-
anywhere
there's-
likely to
there's
get
no
a
average.
bonus, are you? Yeah,
There's no average.
You're likely that the hits and strength add up to 7.
Yeah, 16% of the time that will be the case. Yes.
Moving on then. So we have the first spell proper, which is Treason of Tzeentch. It's cast on a 7. It's a hex spell, the only hex spell we have here. 24-inch range. Target must use the lowest leadership in the unit, and no inspiring presence or hold your ground can be used. You can extend the range to 48 inches for an increased casting of 10.
Yeah.
10 plus. It's all right.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but
Yeah.
but
It'd be nice if there was something in the law or in Tzeentch that made you take a leadership test.
Terror
That
test.
was-
just terror
Yeah, I
tests.
suppose,
That's just
but
going to
then
be getting the most out.
You have to
of.
cast it
It's
turn
cast
before.
it and then charge them next turn.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's good.
Okay.
It's good if you can mix it with other stuff, like other god stuff.
Yes, it's good with Nurgle or Sinesh with their magic
Leadership
missiles.
shenanigans.
Yeah,
So-
with Sinesh, sorry, Nurgle's is the
So this is
toughness.
where Laura
with
Tzeentch,
Sinesh.
this is where Tzeentch comes to effect. It's more of a supporting god rather than the main force.
Yeah,
Right, the next spell is Pink Fire of Tzeentch. It's cast on an 8, direct damage spell. Flame of template, touching the caster's base. Artillery dice move forward. Misfire means it doesn't move. D6 strength hits for anything under the template.
yeah,
It is Pink Fire from the Exalted Flame.
Yeah, it's a terrible.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible fire thrower magic missile, fire thrower mess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which
It's not like Stream of Corruption, which is if you place a flame template down like a breath weapon.
no,
These
it's
are
not
fire.
quite that bad.
No,
at least you can use Scream of Corruption in combat. I think
no, you can't. It's magic missile.
Direct damage spell.
Yeah.
Stream of Corruption.
Direct
Yeah.
damage spell. Can't cast them in combat.
Oh, of course, yeah. So I'm thinking. So I was thinking of the Slanesh one, Skaven one. It's a Skaven one that does the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's got like a
Breath
teardrop
of
template, breath
No,
of something.
The Breath of Corruption is the bubble. Pestilent Breath.
Pestilent breath. That's it.
But you can. There's nothing that sort of stops you
Yeah.
dropping that round.
Yeah, it's
No,
not. It's not great. Shall we
no.
move on?
Let's move on. Bolt would change next, so it's cast on an 8. It's a magic missile, range of 24 inches. A single D6 plus 4 strength hits, multiple wounds D3. No arm saves allowed, and it pierces ranks like a bolt thrower.
I like this spell.
It can be good if
This
you
one's a scary spell.
Yeah.
if you get the big strength, but it's only multiple wounds D3.
The thing is,
Yeah,
that
you don't aim it at monsters necessarily. You
Chuck
aim
it
it at
at, like-
monstrous stuff.
you fly to a flank position and shoot
Yeah.
at a rank of knights.
I wouldn't,
No
try,
arm
I
saves.
wouldn't do it at a
Yeah.
monstrous unit because if they don't kill the monstrous thing, it will
Yeah.
stop it.
You
Yeah, I
chuck, you
suppose.
chuck it at like chariots to nick wounds off, or
Yeah.
artillery
Or
pieces.
just chuck it down a bus.
Yeah, or the flank of a unit of knights, I just said.
Yeah.
I think the fact it's no armor saves is really good. I think you just feel like it's a bit of a must dispel, which is the first one I felt like is a bit of a must dispel. The trouble is the lore doesn't have a lot like that, which
No.
makes it easy to ignore the others.
Yeah.
Talking about must dispels though, if you're a wizard, we have Glean Magic.
Oh, here we go.
It's cast on 8+, it's direct damage spell. There's too much to write down on my
I'll be
cheat
reading
sheet,
this,
so
shall I?
Scott will be reading this one for me.
It targets a single enemy wizard within 18. The caster and the target both roll a d6 and add their wizard level to the score. If the target's total is higher than the caster's, nothing happens. Otherwise, the target suffers a strength 3 hit with a Warp Flame special rule, loses 1 wizard level to a minimum of 0, and forgets 1 randomly determined spell. This cannot be a bound spell. If the caster does not already know this spell, he immediately gains it and can cast it just like any of his other spells. When casting a stolen spell, always substitute his lore attribute with the lore of Tzeentch's lore attribute.
Right. So, this is probably the best spell in the lore.
Yes.
I mean, you lose the wizard level and still lose a spell, regardless if you take a wound from it.
Yeah.
It's just you lose the wizard level and you will stay a strength 3 hit.
It's the theft of the spells that's particularly egregious.
It is random.
He's random,
It is
but
a randomly determined spell.
Or most wizards are only going to have 4 spells, and they're going to have
Yes.
they're going to once they've rolled their spells, they're going to maximise the spells to be better for their army.
Yeah.
And majority of spells they're going to be taking are decent spells it is anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you're stopping them casting that
Yeah.
spell. I mean, you're not necessarily going to get a spell that is good for you to cast.
Yes.
No, unless you're Kara's Fate Weaver, who gets Purple Sun from the Gleam Magic and then rolls it down a unit.
You could double Purple Sun, yeah.
and gets older. You can't get double Purple Sun.
Oh, no, because he already knows it.
No, but he's saying like getting a Purple Sun and then you do the Fires of Change, just building up your pink auras.
I think the thing here though is D6 plus wizard level means that I need to have a high level caster for consistent
It's
chances
rubbish
of
on pink
success.
auras.
Yeah.
And it's poorer on the lower casters. They're going to be able to do it nicely to hero wizards, but they're going to struggle to do it to lords.
Do you have to? Is it equal or beat them, or is it just beat
You
them?
have to equal or beat.
Okay,
'Cause
so
it
it's the
just says
better
if the
version.
target's total is higher, then nothing happens
Yeah, so-
otherwise.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
better version. It's not you have to beat them. It's like
No.
you have to. You can just equal it up. Good spell. Probably would take that if taking Laura Tzeentch.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have Tzeentch's penultimate spell, which is Tzeentch's Firestorm. Cast on a 13, direct damage, small round template within 30 inches, scattered d6 inches, strength d6 hits for anything under the template. Can increase for a larger template that scatters 2d6 inches for a cast of 16+.
And it could still be strength 1.
And it could still be
Yeah,
strength
so it's
1.
basically Flamestorm from Laura Fire. I think
With-
it has
yep.
exactly the same cast values
Yep.
as Flamestorm from Laura Fire,
Yep.
but with random strength and no flaming attacks. In fact,
In fact, I can give you
I
regen.
can give you regen.
It's like reverse Flamestorm. In essence.
Look, it's you're gonna remember 2 games. You're gonna remember the game you cast this spell and it landed. It didn't scatter on a large template and it
Yeah,
was
you got
strength
strength
6, and it absolutely wrecked that unit of Longbeards.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna remember the game where you put the large template down. It scattered 12 inches and was strength 1 at the end anyway. Or
Yeah.
even better, scattered 12 onto your own men and killed a load of them.
Yeah.
you
You
remember
might
that?
get
right?
regen out of it.
So, and that's
Thanks,
the problem. It's too random, and this is the thing for like Tzeentch rely on doing the damage with spells because they're not
Yeah.
going to do it anywhere else. We've seen their units.
No, they are not.
So
No.
this
Outside
is
of the Lord of Change in combat.
these are huge problems. How
Huge
random all
problem.
of this is a real
Yeah.
problem.
Moving on then, we have the last spell, which is Infernal Gateway. It's cast on a 16+, range 24 inches. It's direct damage and does 2d6 hits at 2d6 strength. You roll the strength first. If you're on level of 12 for the strength, it means 3d6 hits instead. Not quite the absolute terrifying monster it used to be.
But where if you rolled strength 11, the
Or
unit was
12.
removed from play.
Yeah. I did that once.
Terrifying.
I did that once to Malice Darkblade and a bus of Cold Knights.
Yeah, it was.
Just take
it
them
was,
off, I was like
it was hideous.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. It was an auto spell back in the day.
Yeah,
You had to stop that. But now it's what a lot of people do, they try to fish for this on your pink horrors.
And just 6 dice.
And just 6 dice it, hoping the miss guys. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's got
It's going to lose a lot
potential.
of pink horrors.
Who
It's
cares?
got potential to do huge
Who cares?
damage,
'Cause
and
you-
like everything else, it's got potential to do nothing.
Yeah.
Who cares? If you kill a lot of pink horrors, you'll fire the change, bring them all back. What?
Yeah.
Have another go at that. But that's it's just all meh.
It's all too
quickly,
random.
Technically, if the Flamestorm scattered onto a unit of pink horrors killed them all, you could then use the lore
Grow it
attribute
back.
to grow them all back.
Yes.
Physically
As long as
amazing.
it didn't kill the entire unit.
Yeah.
There was at least 1 left.
No, because he kills the entire unit, and then if he kills the entire unit, the unit next to them could get the
Yeah.
ones. It just
Yeah.
move,
Just a little
conglomerate.
bit of unit
As long as they're within
amalgamation.
12 of the caster. Yes.
Which they would have been when they cast.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I might not.
Yeah.
Just brilliant.
You're
ladies
basically
and
just
gentlemen.
moving your unit over there. Right, so let's get this rating score for the lore. It's a 1 for the variety of spell types because it's all magic missiles and
Yeah.
direct damages. 2 for the power and frequency of the Law Attribute, 4 for average spell range, 2 for spell flexibility, 3 for average casting value, and 4. Well, I got 4 for the quality of signature spell. Like, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a fireball, which is a really
Yeah.
good signature spell. And to be fair, the range of the law is good as well.
24
Yeah,
inches.
those
The
are all
lowest point
decent.
is Gleam Magic, which is 18 inches.
Yeah.
Which is all good. And so that equals up to a 16 out of 24 for the Laura Tzeentch for demons.
Wow.
1 point lower than it is for warriors.
And poor. Very poor
yeah.
score.
I mean, a lot of your units in Demons of Tzeentch have to take this law. They have no choice.
Yes. Yeah, all your pink horrors have to take it.
So, and all your, like say, your heralds either start with it or they can swap out, or your laws of change can take it if they really want to be crazy.
That is tough. Take Laura Metal, guys.
Just take law amount. So that's the law. It's
Yeah.
one of the lowest we've cast, the lowest we've gone through in for all the deep dives we've ever done. So, it'd be pretty poor law.
Yeah.
So now we're going to finish that. We're going to
Not
move into
spectacular.
the final section. James can finally see the lights.
Yeah.
It's
But it
almost
turns
done.
out it's a hit from Wall Flame, and I'm not very tough.
I can't do it. We're going to move into some sample arm lists for the Laura Tzeentch, and we're going to go for see what we can make of it, really. So we finish up as normal with some sample armor lists, but this time only 2, because demons only get 2, because you can't really.
Because they've had 8.
Yeah, exactly. They've had enough of our sample armor lists at this point in time. So we're going to change things up for the demons again, as I just said, to make things more interesting. Not to mention time consuming. We're going to explore a monogod
Surely it'd
list.
be less time.
Less time consuming. My writing again.
Max Wordswell.
My writing again, comes to strike me back.
Couldn't remember the phrase earlier.
Max Wordswell.
Max worked well.
So you've been exploring a monogod list. That being a list only contains units that are aligned to a specific god. This one being Tzeentch. Yeah.
It's the Tzeentch deep dive. We're going to do Monocorn.
Yeah, and a slight twist on that list with a smattering of other units belonging to the other gods to change things up. So the Mono Tzeentch list then. So we're going to start off with, unsurprisingly, Kairos Fateweaver.
Shocker.
I mean, he's literally holding this entire army on his back.
Yeah, he is.
Are you ready to, slightly...
That's okay, go on.
You ready? And next one is a Herald of Tzeentch, level 1 on the Laura Tzeentch. Then we have another Herald of Tzeentch, level 1 on the Laura Tzeentch. Then we have another Herald of Tzeentch, level 1 Laura Tzeentch. That's 3 in total. Then we have the Blue Scribes. Then we have 3 units of 12 pink horrors with standard bearers. A unit of 11 pink horrors with standard bearers. 5 Furies of Tzeentch. 6 Screamers of Tzeentch. And 2 Soul Grinders of Tzeentch with Demon Bone Claws. Okay.
This it got better.
It
got better, yeah.
So the comp on that is -2. It's a minus.
It's Kairos.
Purely because of Kairos.
There's a lot of spamming spellcasters in there as well.
But you
You've got
don't-
a lot of heralds.
And
I
it's
think.
the thing that we
You
didn't
don't
touch
suffer-
on with the Laura
don't-
Tzeentch. You can just throw 1 dice at the 6.
Yeah.
Just
You don't
one dice.
suffer the minuses for the multiple spellcast because you are mono Tzeentch.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Otherwise it'd be -8.
Yeah, but that's that thing of just chucking 1 dice at everything.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kairos Fateweaver literally is going to be holding the game on the back for this army.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's going to be doing nothing else but just basically buffing the Screamers
Yeah.
as much as he can. So the Screamers are going to be going into combat for you.
Yeah.
He's going to be chucking purple suns around the place because
Probably.
8+ channels a turn as well.
yeah, he's A+, and all of them rerolling ones. And that's not mentioning the Blue Scribes if they do get their crowns as well.
That was the plus.
Oh, was that the plus? Was that the 8+? Yeah.
8+.
Okay. The Furies of Tzeentch are there to try and take out some war machines that threaten Kairos.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually have anything monstrous to block him.
got
Apart
Soul Grinders.
from the 2 Soul Grinders. But you
Which-
kind of want them to be in combat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we could have gone with shooty.
You could have gone shooting, but you would have to drop 100 points. Probably you
just
could,
a herald.
you could drop a Herald, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah, I think you've got too many heralds, if I'm honest.
Well, you got
I'd,
3.
Yeah, I think I'd drop it down to 2 and give the Soul Grinders the Phlegm
Phlegm
Bombardment.
Flem Bombardment. Move them up, keep shooting flames, and then just challenge combat.
We like
Yeah.
that. That's what we
Yeah.
would.
Keep the Demon Bone Claws and just go from there. But overall, it's going to be hard, guys. I'm not going to beat around the bush here.
It's even with that, it's all about Kairos. It's all about magic. And
Kairos
spells,
needs to
what you can get
do
off.
what he needs to do.
Yeah. it
Yeah,
does.
and the Screamers are good because Kairos can buff them with a lot of good spells.
Yeah.
He can up
Flaming-
the Flaming Sword of Ruin.
Flaming
obviously.
Sword,
Yeah.
Enchanted Blade, Whistle's Wild
Whistons.
Form, Harmonic
Wisson's
Conversions.
Flaming Sword Harmonic Conversions. That's
You can't get
all of them.
you can get 2 of them, can't you?
Yeah, you can get Whistons and Flaming
Flaming
Sword.
Sword.
At the same time.
At the
Or
same
you can
time.
get Enchanted Blades and the real one, and Harmonic
And
Conversions.
Harmonic. Yeah.
In which case, when they were flying over stuff, it would be Wisson's Flaming Sword. That's quite harsh.
Wissons won't affect it.
Oh, is it not
It's-
strength?
it's
It's a
strength
fixed
4.
strength 4.
Yeah.
But you get +1 to the flaming sword.
When are they done? Is that those attacks? Are they done in the shooting phase or the movement phase?
Movement. I
Movement
think.
phase.
I would have thought it's movement.
So I was say, if it was shooting phase, you could use it to get rid of regen.
Yeah, but with your catapults, yeah, definitely, guys. Make the small amendment there. Drop one of those Tzeentch heralds and get your 2 phlegm bombards on the soul
remaining
grinders,
moves.
just to chuck some additional range damage out.
Just try and do something before they hit your army and take it off the board.
Don't be afraid to run those heralds out of the units on their own. Just run around. Just get them out there, mate. That's their job.
And then we're going to move into the mixed Tzeentch list then. And so we start off with a Lord of Change this time.
Ooh.
He's level 4 on the Law of Metal with 2 lesser gifts and a greater gift.
So
My
the Wonder
preference.
Whimsy, a greater gift and a lesser gift.
Fishing for 2 up arm save and always strikes first.
Yes.
Yes, that's what you do.
Oh, +1 wound, also good.
And then we have 2 level 1 Heralds of Tzeentch, both on the Law of Tzeentch with the Exalted Locus of Conjuration.
That's +1 strength to
All their
its
spells,
cost.
yeah. So no BSB. No BSBs in any of the armies. Because
Yeah, that's a big call. No BSB.
I think if you're getting in combat, mate, you're in trouble anyway. You're
Fair
dead.
point.
Yeah, that is a very fair point. You might as well have the plus comp point for not
You're
having
not
BSB.
you're not taking a leadership test to have to reroll in the shooting phase unless there's something that specifically makes you take a leadership test.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's particularly necessary. Then we have again 3 units of 12 pink horrors and 10 pink horrors. All of the pink horrors have standard bearers. Then we have 2 units of 3 beasts of Nurgle, a unit of 2 beasts of Nurgle, and 2 soul grinders of Nurgle with Demon Bone Claws.
Yeah, see, this time I wouldn't go for the shooting on them.
No.
This is a much better list.
But guess what the comp is in that list though? That's a -10, baby.
No,
good
it's
job.
not. It's not. It's not because it's not because you haven't got chorus. Because when we
Ah,
worked it
no,
out,
I'm
you
not,
said
yeah.
it's chorus and it's not.
So it'll be like
4 better off.
-4,
-6.
-4 for the casters. It's no,
7.
no. -4 for the casters.
3
3 for the
beast.
beast. 7.
Oh, no, is it?
No BSB.
Oh, no BSB. Yeah.
So
Do you get any
6.
pluses
6.
at all for anything else?
not by
No,
I can
no.
remember, no.
No. Okay, so
Soul
yeah.
Grinders aren't a plus
6.
anymore.
So he's
It's
issues.
6.
Yeah.
-6.
Minus,
Still heavily comped.
yeah. Minus Kara, so it's better.
The thing is with this list is it's actually deceptively scary. You've got 2 big monsters that are going to run and take the middle ground. All the while, the wizards are the pink horrors are blasting chaff, generating power dice.
I'll be blasted.
And then you've got the beauty of 2 up armor save on the grinders from the Law of Metal off of
Yeah.
the
Yep.
Lord of
Of
Change.
course. Lord of Change.
The Lord of Change is a combat beast who
Yeah.
can't be challenged out if he gets in with units with beasts,
Yeah.
units
No, he
of
can't.
beasts, because
Yeah.
the beasts are attention seekers, so they'll take on the
They'll
challenges.
take the challenge.
So he can wow on the units, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's not one of those. It's not like the Nurgle list we were going on about, and after the end of it, say, "Oh, we want to run this list."
No.
It wasn't like that. I don't
No.
particularly want to run this list. I mean, it'd be interesting.
I think it's dirty.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind giving it a run. I'd possibly. I think I would change some things around. I would have. Have you got 3 units of 12 and a unit of 10?
Yeah.
Pink horrors. I'd have 3 units of 10 and a unit of like 18 or whatever that'd make. I think 18. 16 maybe.
16.
16.
Yeah.
And drop one of the locusts. So have both
Yeah.
heralds in 1 unit.
Yeah.
Save
Like
some
like
points
you
there.
discussed earlier on.
Yeah, and add like a beast in to have 3 units of
Yeah,
free.
yeah, you could do that.
And like you'd have 10 points that you'd have to find
Yeah.
somewhere, but
Hang on, let's go.
but that's what I would go with.
But-
But it's very similar list.
But I mean, ultimately, it's going to pin you down.
Yeah.
It's going to blast off as much as it can with spells, and then it's going to actually kind of come in with the ideal being the monsters all coming together in like a monster.
The
Yeah,
monster
goal.
mash. They
The
come
monster
and do.
mash.
They come in and do the monster mash.
The graveyard smash, if you will.
But no, that list. I said it could work. I think.
Minus.
To be honest, once I get my Demons of Tzeentch army done, we can just do it because
Soul Grinders are the only thing.
I have 1 soul run already,
Oh, beautiful.
so I just have to get 1 more.
Beautiful. You don't buy enough as it is, so you can buy the other
No,
Soul
I'm not
Grinder.
buying new armies. We buy new models. All good.
It's
So-
Nurgle army though, so does that count as a...
No, it's a soul runner because I can paint it in a neutral colour.
Neutral soul grinders.
Yeah, baby. So
You heard them
anyway,
here first. If you're looking to sell your soul grinder,
Yeah.
generally painting it in neutral colours will increase the value.
I'm just gonna
Make it look bigger.
I'm going to amend that statement very quickly. Rob Nixon, if you're looking to sell your soul grinders, obviously
Paint them in a neutral colour, Rob.
Sell 'em
will
to Max.
help them sell Max. Also, try baking some bread when he comes to view them. I hear it's nice. I hear it convinces people it's a good purchase.
Anyway, that is finally it. We are done with these Demons of Tzeentch. It's over. We're through it. We're
And
done.
we, personally, are through with the demons.
We've escaped the Crystal Dome,
Yeah, that
the
one.
Crystal Labyrinth, the Crystal Maze,
You-
other UK television
You have
shows
literally
that
stolen
Nineties
my next
TV
line,
shows?
which was,
Ever.
we've come to the end of our nightmarish holiday through the realm of chaos, and we have managed to successfully navigate the Crystal Labyrinth with a portion of our sanity intact
I think
somehow.
a portion is correct. I think there was a moment in there with the Bringer of the Swarm where I just had a small breakdown.
Yeah, you did.
But we're fine.
But as in terms of filming, this is the last one
We are
filming.
through the,
No more
the
demons.
of Chaos.
No
deep
more
dives.
demons.
Moving on to better and brighter things. Anyway, so Demons of Tzeentch as a mono god army are probably the weakest of the 4 gods. We're not going to.
Yeah.
Probably.
They are. Yeah, they are. I mean, Kairos does a lot of heavy lifting.
He helps, yeah.
Yeah.
And I always feel like, as I said, they're always there just to support other gods.
Yeah.
Kairos is always better in another god's army. Like, he's
Yes.
better in a War Nurgle army, better in a Khorne army, better in a Slanesh army, realistically.
He can be good in all those sort of things.
Yeah, he is. He's ace with. He just needs units that can fight.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
can do the mid-ground stuff. That's where Tzeentch struggle.
Yeah.
And they are very difficult armies to use effectively by themselves. And trust me, I've played it maybe 5 times, and I don't think I've won. I think I won 1 game.
A whole 5 times.
Whole 5 times.
Like an expert then.
I am, basically. That's why I'm writing deep dives. And I won't be winning any big events soon. It'd be
You know if you plan them, they won't.
maybe if I say that, yeah, someone takes a challenge, comes to an event and wins it, the Demons of Tzeentch.
They could though. We had a demons. I think it was mono Tzeentch, or it might have been just majority Tzeentch. That was very close to winning Triple Crown last year.
Oh, it
That sort of end of game 3.
It wasn't
It was
majority.
close.
It wasn't majority Tzeentch. It was Kairos with a unit pick.
It was Kairos and the mixers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was. I mean, I can understand why you felt that made it majority Tzeentch because he's the only Tzeentch thing.
That said, they have one of the best characters in the game with Kairos, who's an absolute magical monster, and they have one of the most competitive grey demons in the book.
Yeah.
So they
they
have
are
that.
there.
They have that going for them with the Lord of Change equipped with the Wand of Whimsy.
Their Lord section is fantastic. The rest, not so much.
The rare, special,
Well, the rest got
Cool.
soul grinders at least.
the
The
special.
grinders have come out well, actually. I wonder how many people at home are now going to reevaluate soul grinders because they've come out quite well on a couple of the deep
Yeah,
dives.
most of them.
There.
Because they are ultimately a really big, scary monster
Tough
that does
monster,
loads of
yeah.
damage.
The one they probably don't do the best in is probably Khorne because they already have the Bloodthirster. It is anyway.
Yeah,
And their Skull Cannons also come from rare. But anyway,
that's why I think.
But anyway, that's
We
Demons
digress.
Club. So hopefully in this video we've shown you how to get the most of your Demons of Tzeentch competitively and maybe given you an idea for a list a little bit different. Who knows? As always, feel free to give us your feedback on the socials, share your list and ask us questions.
And remember, just to cut in there, you need to send us everything, comments, emails, everything to get Max to paint his Lord of Change yellow, like Big Bird.
Where was I? I don't know where I was now. Thanks for joining us and remember to thanks for joining us and to remember head back the night of the Royal Mustering Ground to check out all of our other exclusive content.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.
Remember to tag your friends and like, subscribe and share. Then head over to triplecrownwargaming.com and become a Knight of the Realm today.
What are you doing, mate?
You alright?
Do it for Warhammer!